Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26 of the Deep Thoughts podcast. We are gathered here today with our special guest, Mason. Say hi to Mason, everybody.
Hello to Mason, everybody.
Hello, Mason.
It's going to be fun when you re-listen to this tomorrow while you're at work.
Oh,
And
yeah.
say hello to yourself.
Hello to myself from the future.
Oh, goodness. Get your hand out of your pants.
Like Dora the Explorer. That's right. This is the best podcast.
Jeez. So I'll kick us off here. Zach, I don't know if you're gonna talk about this, but today is Father's Day, which was the same holiday that we started this podcast on.
Is it really?
2 years ago. Yeah, remember when we talked about Father's Day?
Aren't we great sons?
Yeah,
It's your podiversary.
I think so, actually.
How neat.
Don't you remember that, Zach? We talked about Father's Day and how it was founded in Spokane.
I don't know. It's not. It's not like I've been recently going back and listening to our first episode.
I remember that vividly. But yeah, so Father's Day is founded in Spokane, everybody. So, it's pretty exciting.
Way to kick us off.
So,
Yeah, that's our
I
first
forgot.
topic. Speaking
So I
of,
was.
oh, I'll go. Speaking of dads, I have an interesting story involving my stepdad that happened this past weekend, or a week ago, I guess. So it was after our little shindig for Mason's birthday last week. It was the next morning. I drove back to my house, and there was a bunch of cops outside my house, and I was like, "Oh shit, what happened?" And then apparently, my stepdad got assaulted by a 17-year-old that like lives like down the street.
what?
What the
Because
fuck?
yeah, so
hell?
they've been having like an ongoing conflict because he like he'll like buy drugs and stuff from his friends or whatever, and then like he'll do the drug deals like right outside like my
Your
mom's
stepdad?
house. No, the 17-year-old. Yeah, my stepdad's the seller. They had a little business conflict. But yeah, so he's been like buying drugs like outside of our house, and like one time my mom caught him like drunkenly like peeing on our fence or whatever. And so like they've just like hated this kid for a long time. And so finally it was like that morning, Dan was like working in the backyard, my stepdad Dan. He and a car came up and like parked like on the side of our house, and he like recognized them, and he went up to him and he's like, "Hey, like I know what you guys are doing, and could you just like not do it here?" He's like, "Oh," he's like, "What do you mean? Like I'm just like waiting for my friend." He's like, "No, I know what you're doing. Like please just get out of here." And so finally he like left. He like drove off, and then the 17-year-old kid neighbor comes over, and then Dan is still outside, and he's like, "Hey, if you're looking for your friend, I told him to get out of here. I don't want you guys doing your drug business in front of my property." And so the kid just got super
It's a
fucking
free country,
pissed.
man.
Yeah. And so the kid got pissed, and like the drug dealer guy or whatever, his friend came back and was like across the street, and so the 17-year-old came onto like our yard, and Dan was like, "Okay, like, well, now you're on my property. Like, please get off my property, or like I'm gonna have to like call the police." And I think he ended up like calling like crime check, and he's like talking to him on the phone like while it was happening.
Mhm.
And so then the kid eventually like swung at him and like punched him like in the cheek or whatever, like punched him in the face like twice. And so then Dan like kind of grabbed him and just like put him on the ground and kind of just like held him there. And he was like, and he like told his friends, he's like, "Hey, like go get his like parents or whatever." They fucking went like 2 houses down, got his parents. They came over, and like their parents, like they've known that like he's been doing all this shit or whatever, and like they're not happy with it either. So it's just like a big mess.
I
So
thought
they
you were gonna
called the
say they
cops.
just ganged up on him.
Oh
Like,
no. Yeah,
Turned
just an
into like a
all-out brawl.
full-blood family turf war.
Yeah, exactly.
I just turn on live PD and I just see Blake standing in front of his house watching his stepdad
Well,
get beat up.
Apparently Brady, cause like he drove back that next morning too, and he got there when Dan was like pinning down the kid in the yard, and he was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And
It's
so,
like stepbrothers.
yeah, exactly. And so it was just like crazy. And so now like like I don't know, the kid has to like go to court or something. He's only 17, like he's a fucking minor. And like luckily dad didn't like hit him at all. I would have fought him, but it was
Jeez,
I wasn't there. But
that's crazy.
yeah, so this is pretty wild. So happy Father's Day to all those dads and stepdads out there defending your territory.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, it was a interesting story. So Anybody else?
I'm
got
surprised I
anything?
haven't. I'm surprised I haven't come across anything like that when I'm like walking around for my job because I go into like some pretty sketch neighborhoods, but nothing's really happened. Knock on wood, but we'll see.
No one fights a mailman. Come on.
No, I meant
Nobody
like
does
just
that.
witnessing it happening.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like if I was delivering and I just walk past that, like
You just
mind my own
surprised
business.
I'm
see
surprised
some
I don't
guy
run into
pinned down
stuff
a
like that.
17-year-old.
I'm surprised I don't run into stuff like that the one time a week when I leave my apartment.
I'm surprised you don't witness that when you're sitting at home looking out your window while you work from home all these days.
Right?
I'm surprised I don't witness that when I'm podcasting.
There's like a big,
Yeah.
huge grassy field outside my window, and it kind of like slopes down because it's like a drain field, and it just turns into this big like Thunderdome fighting arena in the middle of the day. There's like
all
an
the
80-year-old
apartment
lady
kids.
just defending the grass, and some 14-year-old kid just comes swinging,
She sits in her lawn chair just waiting for business to start.
waiting for blood.
Exactly. That's when the bloodshed goes down at dusk every night. Once the sun goes down, the neighborhood kids come out, and it's just an all-out brawl every night.
Could you imagine?
Everybody gets their cars out there, puts on their headlights.
You just look out your window, there's just a full-blown fight club just happening outside.
That'd be so sick. Oh my gosh.
It'd be hilarious.
Oh man. Now I want to start a fight club.
You should do it.
If anyone's out there, meet at this address at this time, and we'll be there.
The Thots Fight Club. Don't bring your shovels.
Don't
This
bring
only.
No weapons allowed.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it
No
at,
touching of the hair or face.
we're gonna do it
Only
at
bring
Riverfront Park
microphones and
in the pavilion.
camcorders. Yeah. Downtown Spokane during the protests.
Oh my god. That'd be ridiculous.
All right, Zach. What's one of your topics you had for today? You gave me a list of some, and I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so I was saying the first day of summer was yesterday, so I was wondering if you had one particular summer that was your favorite.
Ooh.
Well, there's a lot of songs about Summer of '69. That was quite the summer for me.
It's funny that song was just brought up because I was at my friend's house, and then like his wife's dad was over there, and then he was born in 1969, so they were talking about the summer of '69.
Oh, wow.
So playing the song.
It's crazy.
I would say that the summer like prior to my senior year of high school was a pretty good time because like ever since then I've been working. So that was like the last summer I had where I didn't have a job.
I was gonna say the same thing, except I actually did work.
Yeah.
But all of my money was disposable. Like it didn't even matter. So like all the money I made just went to whatever I wanted to do.
You're cutting out.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
I didn't start
Yeah,
working until like right at the beginning of my senior year. And then I've been working ever since then, working like a dog.
Was your first job Sky High?
Mason.
I thought I was cutting out, but apparently not.
Are you there? Hello? Mason, can you hear us?
Hello? Yeah, can you?
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so was your first job at Sky High?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I
Cool.
worked there for a while, and then it closed. And then I worked at a movie theater, sold a bunch of
Now
popcorn.
that's closed.
Well, technically, right now it is closed. But I didn't run that business into the ground. But yeah,
I think
and
you had
now
a hand in what caused it, though. I think you're one of the reasons that they got shut down because of Corona.
I was
yeah.
wondering what they're gonna do because I heard that like some of the theaters are gonna open up again, but there's like no movies coming out this year.
Yeah, that will be kind of weird. I don't know. I feel like once theaters start opening, like studios, they have so many like movies like waiting to get released.
Oh, next year's gonna be crazy.
Well, I mean, you got to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
though, there was a bunch of movies that were like going to get released but didn't because the theaters are closed. So you look at like Mulan, for example, like should have already been
Black
out.
Widow.
Or Fast 9.
Yeah, or Black Widow is a good one.
Fast 9.
But yeah, like movies like that like just didn't get released. Like I bet a lot of those will just get released right when theaters start opening. But at the same
Yeah, I
time,
think Quiet
like,
Place
that's
2
gonna
got
hurt.
delayed too.
Oh yeah.
In the
Like at the same
meantime,
time,
they
though,
could
that's
have
gonna
showed
hurt
cable
that's gonna
TV.
hurt their box office like performance because like if theaters are only allowed like X amount of people per screen, then like that's obviously going to hurt box office performance, but we'll see.
Yeah, some of the movie rentals for the movies that are going to like straight to digital are still like really expensive. Like the newest like Scoob movie was like $20 rental on Amazon or
Yeah.
something.
I'm
It
so
was like
bummed.
it was
I
like
was so excited
$25 to
watch
buy or
that in
20 to
theaters.
rent.
I was counting
I
down the
was
days
too.
until Scoob came out in theaters so that I could go to the midnight premiere.
I think I'm gonna hold out and
Midnight
hopefully it goes
premiere.
into like one of those Garland theaters that shows the old movies.
Just gonna hold out for
Gonna go in the
Scoob 2.
IMAX.
When Scoob 2 comes out midnight premiere, I'll be there.
Then I'll binge. I'll watch the live action first.
Scoop
And then
2, the scoop pool.
The Scoob cool. Even Scoobier.
Too fast, too Scooby.
Oh my god.
Scrappy's in the house.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when you think about it, like if you're like say a family of 5, and like instead of going to the theaters to watch fucking Scoob, as like say like a dad would just be like, well, now I can just pay $20 instead of like $100 to watch it in the
That's
comfort
true.
of my
Yeah,
own
you don't have to
home.
pay per ticket. No, I didn't
Yeah.
really.
So I feel like for families, I feel like it's a huge relief with like just paying like $20. Like that's like nothing compared to what it costs to actually like pay for tickets and shit for an actual movie. Like I can imagine, like I mean now I have free movies, but like growing up, we never got free movies. We had to go to like the local mall or whatever and watch movies. And like we went to like a ton of movies back then too. Like I don't know how my parents had the money for that shit. Like we'd go to a movie like twice in theaters.
Were they
like, for no
cheaper back
reason.
then, or were they still like $10 a ticket?
I mean, they must have been cheaper because like we went all the time. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think I went to the downtown movie theater to see Godzilla, and I think it was like $18 IMAX or something like that, just for one ticket.
Yeah, that's
Jeez,
insane.
that's ridiculous.
I don't know. I feel like a family like renting. Like, didn't you guys talk about Trolls in one of these podcasts?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Blake's
sure.
mentioned it like 4 different podcasts.
It's taken
so,
down the
like-
movie industry.
Okay. Well,
Theater
when that
industry.
came out, like I feel like it's just not like the same. Like, I mean, yeah, like you could like rent the movie and like have your entire family see it for like cheap or whatever, but it's just like not like the same experience. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
I mean,
always
like,
going to be a place for it.
Yeah.
yeah, the experience is always there, but I mean, as far as like fiscally, you know, like I'm sure a lot of families would prefer to do that instead of going out to the, you know, the theaters. I'm sure.
But I'm
kids
just
don't
gonna.
like
I'm
it,
just
but-
thinking like, who's gonna risk spreading corona to go watch like the first Harry Potter at like a theater with like for like $25?
Right.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
It just doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah. I don't know. My theater actually, because I know the manager like didn't get laid off. Like she's still working, and they're open like through this whole thing. They've been open like a couple days a week, just selling like bagged popcorn. So
What?
she'll like show
Yeah,
up.
they have that at my movie
and,
theater.
like, yeah, and they'll like pop a bunch of popcorn, and then it's like curbside pickup for like movie theater popcorn. Which honestly, like, I don't know how well they're doing with that, but like,
Oh man, I can't imagine that's doing that good.
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like older people in that area though that I feel like a lot of people would come in just for the popcorn, like when I worked there. So I don't know. Even if it's just like a handful of people that come in and buy popcorn, like I don't know.
I mean, the
Just to
profit
keep the
margins
lights
on
on.
fucking
Getting some to
like
do, yeah.
Yeah, that's where they
Theater
make their money,
popcorn
I guess.
ridiculous.
So
Yeah, especially because like I mean, operating costs for a theater, like it's pretty insane, like how much electricity a movie theater uses. So like if they're not running theaters, like if they're not actually running movies, then like I can't imagine the operating cost is really that insane.
yeah, and if there's only like one person there, it's not like
Yeah, they're paying like
you
one
sell
employee.
like 5 popcorn buckets and you've already paid for the whole day for that person.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, seriously. It's like $20 a fucking large tub.
What was the last movie that you saw before everything got shut down?
Oh jeez, I don't fucking know.
I saw Knives Out was the last movie I saw.
I wanted to see that, but
And I
it didn't look that
distinctively
good.
remember that because I got actually kind of funny. I got the Regal like unlimited movie pass for Christmas, so I got like 18 free movies,
Score.
which is funny because that's not even the theater that I worked at. And I used it one time before the coronavirus hit, and it was to see Knives Out. And I remember it distinctively because I booked because Regal has like assigned seating, and I booked my ticket on like the app or whatever, and I was the first person to book a ticket. And I'm like, okay, cool, I might be the only person in this movie. And then I showed up and I sat down on my seat. I was the first person in there. I got there pretty early. And then like 5 minutes after I sit down, this other group of like 3 people comes in and sits down directly next to me. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, there's literally nobody else in this movie. Like, why would you pick the seats directly next to me? And then I never went back.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, I was pissed. The movie was good, but I ended up just like.
I would have
moving.
pulled out my actual knife.
Yeah, I carry a 6-inch buck knife with me every time I go to a movie, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to keep 6 feet before the pandemic.
Actually, funny. I actually had to call the cops one time at the movie theater because we had somebody that was apparently like sketchy that had shown up, and cops showed up looking for somebody, and were like, I don't know, like we didn't see him, and they're like, yeah, well they posted on their like Snapchat story that they were here, and they're like, yeah, like she's not dangerous, but like we're just trying to find her, and we're like, okay, well,
We
we'll
just
keep
want to have a
it.
talk.
And they're like, yeah, like we think that she's in this movie, and I'm like, okay, like, and so I went up into the booth, and I was like obviously we don't want to like stop the movie if we don't have to, but we like told the cops, we're like, yeah, like we can stop the movie, and like if you want to go in there and check, and they're like, no, like we don't want to like disrupt your guests or whatever. So I'm like, okay, so I went up into the booth and like looked through the window, like where the like projector is, and I couldn't see her. And I was like, okay. And so we like went into
It
the
was pretty
actual
dark
theater.
in there.
Well, and so we went into the theater. Like I went into the theater and like walked up and down the aisles, and I'm like looking for the person who like matched the description or whatever. And I like couldn't. I didn't see her, so I was like, okay, like she must not be here. And then I told the cops that, and they're like, all right, well, we're just gonna go check. And I'm like, okay. So the cops actually went in and were like shining flashlights and looking for this girl.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, and they couldn't find her either. And so they're like, all right, well, if she turns up, just like call 911. And we're like, okay. And then like after they left, some like random family came out of the theater, and they're like, hey, like we've had multiple people like coming and looking in our like theater, and like some cops came and like, is everything okay? Like we're kind of concerned about like our safety, and we're like, oh no, like everything's fine. Like they're just like looking for somebody, but she's not here. And so they left, and they're like, okay, like whatever. And they went back into their movie, and literally like 45 minutes later, the girl that they were looking for comes stumbling out of the theater, and I was like, oh my god, like that's totally her. So I like called 911, and they came back and like picked her up. I was like, oh, that was kind of crazy. Like I'm
Did they ever
surprised.
say what the crime was?
No, they didn't tell us, but I was just like, well,
She was
that's kind of
pirating
crazy that like
movies. She was filming
I,
them.
well, I'm just like, I'm like, okay, I personally went and looked at, and there was only like 7 or 8 people in the whole movie, so I was like, I personally went and looked in there and didn't see her, and then cops went in there looking for her and didn't see her, so I'm like genuinely curious if she like went and hid behind the screen, like when we were in there,
Oh jeez.
because
It's
like
like you'd think
I
people
don't.
would point that out or notice that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's dark, but still, like, I was just like, I don't see how we missed her because, like, we went in there multiple times, and I don't know. Sounds kind of crazy.
Maybe when you went up into the little booth as a window to look down, she was in that room with you. She was right behind you. You couldn't
That'd be
see
so
her.
scary, dude. Actually,
Yeah.
funny story. So you know how like at movie theaters they have those they're called standees, those big like cardboard cutouts that you see in like the lobbies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I love those.
So we actually like we would keep the like figures, like the cardboard cutouts of people, and we would like put them in like random places to scare people. And do you remember the movie The Nun?
Yes.
Oh, I heard about that.
So
Yeah.
when The Nun came out, we got this standee for it that was like super sketchy, and there was like these full size like nuns like without faces. And once we
Oh
like
my
watched
gosh.
the movie, we like kept all those, and like somebody like propped one up because when you walk up into the projection booth, you like walk up the stairs, and there's a door on your left, so you like 90-degree turn to the left and open the door, and somebody like propped up that nun figure like right there. And so somebody like opened the door into the booth, and it was just like this creepy like nun thing just like staring at them. Oh my god. And we used to do stuff like that all the time. And we had
God,
like,
I would be thinking about that for like the next week.
oh my god, yeah, we had like a Captain Barbosa from Pirates of the Caribbean. We had one of him up there, and then I propped when we got Spider-Man Homecoming, I like put Spider-Man like probably 15 feet up on the wall. So somebody was like walking up in there, and there's like Spider-Man
Gangs
like,
on
chilling
here.
way up on the wall. Yeah, we used to do
Jeez.
stuff like that all the time. But
What a
Yeah, I
fun
think
job.
the last movie I saw before the shutdown was Uncut Gems.
ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh,
I
And
just
it was
watched
the
that.
same thing to where like I was the only one in the theater, and then like the previews were starting, or like the movie was or about to end, and then like 3 people walked in. I was like, "You'll be kidding me!" And they were pretty chatty too. It's like, come on,
Did you ever see
The
Uncut
worst.
Gems, Blake?
Yeah, I actually saw it like a week ago.
it was a good movie.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
want to
good.
spoil it for the fan that's listening to this, but um
You've already seen it though.
the ending of that movie like blew my mind.
He
Literally.
got shot in the head.
I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, I mean it was like, yeah, it shocked me. I was like, oh
Yeah, I
fuck.
was not expecting that. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, because the whole time you think he's gonna like miraculously get out of that crazy situation that he's in, and it's just like, nope.
Yeah. Also, fuck Kevin Garnett for fucking holding onto that rock for so long. What an asshole.
I like how they never said whether or not that the one that he had was fake. Did you even notice
I
that
don't
at
know.
like the end? How like he was
I
kind
mean,
of
I
looking
thought I
at it.
noticed
Like, I
that.
don't think that's
Yeah.
the same.
Wait,
one.
about what piece of jewelry?
So remember how he wanted that big crystal thing, like the opal?
Yeah, yeah.
So at the very end of the movie,
The one he was trying to sell.
yeah. So apparently, well, I kind of think that what they're insinuating is that somebody switched the opal at the auction house before it went up for auction, and that's why the value decreased so much. Because then after that, once Kevin Garnett buys it, he's like looking at it and he like looks all confused, and it kind of they're kind of insinuating that like somebody had switched it out and like replaced it with like a less good one. And then I think Kevin Garnett like ends up like playing not as well after that. So I think they're trying to like imply that Adam Sandler, or whatever his character's name, like switched the opal so that he could try and sell it for like more money, or like somebody else did. But I don't know. They never really.
Yeah, I knew this
Kind of
movie
allude
was
to that they never
was gonna
tied
be stressful when he got that Kevin Garnett's ring, and then he just immediately went to go sell it, and I was like,
Oh,
oh
right.
my god, it's gonna be
Yeah,
one of
I
these
was like,
movies.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why is he doing this? That's so weird.
But I just like that he has like 10 pieces of jewelry on him at all times to like just give to everybody that mugs him, because every single person that he runs into is like trying to harass him.
That whole movie,
Yeah.
I was just waiting for Idina Menzel to just break out into song and start singing songs from Frozen, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
The mistake. I felt so bad for all the movies that were like in theaters like right when everything got shut down, like Onward and stuff. So they didn't make like any money.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Onward
right.
had to go
Disney,
straight to
Disney
Disney
needs to
Plus.
make more money.
That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna go bankruptcy, and I'm calling it.
They're gonna say, you know what, Pixar maybe isn't that profitable. Let's just
Dude, speaking of that, I saw this thing. I don't know if it's true, but I saw this thing that apparently in Galaxy's Edge, which is like the Star Wars land at like the Disney parks, that is kind of new. They're gonna apparently use stormtroopers to enforce social distancing rules, and I think that's so funny. Like, could you
That's
imagine
pretty
if you're
sick.
just like standing there and a stormtrooper comes up and like fully in character, like starts yelling at you to like back up and like put some space in between you and somebody
he
else?
just beating you. It's like is this a commentary on police brutality?
There's like a brother and sister, two little kids holding hands, like, hey, break it up. They start just beating them up.
And then Kylo Ren comes up and like actually cuts their head off with that real lightsaber.
The real
Jeez.
lightsaber. George Lucas pops out, starts beating children.
Is Silverwood opened up
Anakin
now?
comes
Yeah,
out, kills
it's
all the
been
younglings.
Been open for a while. My brother actually went opening day, and it was probably. I don't
So
know,
is
like a
Boulder
month
Beach
ago.
closed still?
I don't know.
I can't imagine that would be bad. I don't know. I don't know
Can the
what
virus
rules
be
they have
transferred
enforced.
through water?
I don't know. Question. I thought
Let's
Boulder
find
Beach
out.
was open.
I don't know.
Not
Yeah, I
sure.
don't know what kind of restrictions like half capacity on the roller coaster, like one person per row or one person for every 2 rows.
Yeah, one person for the entire car at a time.
Silverwood or Idaho doesn't really give a shit about anything, so
I'm pretty sure they're already on like phase 4. Crazy.
yeah, I don't even know if there's anything closed right now. I heard that we might get reverted back to like phase 1. I don't know if that would happen.
Really?
That would
I
suck.
don't think so.
Well, it's like the number of cases are going up quite a bit, but there's no new hospitalizations or deaths or anything like that. So it's like the asymptomatic rate is like way higher than it was before, I think, now that there's more tests.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what happened with. Did you hear about how Clemson had like 30 athletes that tested positive, but like every single one of them was asymptomatic?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
It's like okay, like
Didn't that happen to another team too? And then it was like the same story.
yeah, like I know that happened to the Cowboys. Like Zeke Elliott was one of them. Like the Cowboys and the Texans.
Oh, wasn't that after the big party scandal where they were celebrating a birthday party with like 40 people or something, and
Oh,
they
is that
got
what
put on
happened?
blast online?
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
Feed Zeke the coronavirus. So yeah, speaking of favorite summers, mine would probably be summer before my senior year as well.
Forgot that was where this started.
Yeah. Maybe talk
Like
about
before
first
your senior year, or
jobs and
after
then
your
movie
senior year?
theater. Probably after. Because the nice thing about WSU is that like obviously like I wasn't working.
You
either
basically
during
didn't
the
have a summer. You basically just like ended this high school and then just started up immediately.
Oh yeah, I guess it was shorter. Never mind. Maybe the summer after my freshman year of college. I don't know. I had a few pretty solid summers in a row, and then this summer is just absolute dog shit. But yeah,
That happened
Yeah,
to
no, it just started yesterday.
that's why it's been absolute dog shit.
me. That happened to me because I went to WSU my freshman year and then transferred to Eastern for my sophomore year. But WSU's on semesters, so we were done with school like the first week of May or whatever. But then when I transferred to Eastern, they're on quarters, so I didn't go back until like the end of September. So I had summer from like beginning of May all the way till the end of September, and that was super nice.
Yeah, that's
But I was
ridiculous.
also working like full time, but still, it's cool.
Making that bank though.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about when you're doing school and work is that if you have days where you don't do one or the other, it feels like almost a day off.
Yeah.
It was like so nice during the school year when I didn't have to go to work and I just could just go home. I was like, it's so nice.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, Blake, do you have any topics that you'd come up with?
I mean, I like the ones that you had. You texted me.
All right. I had a question because I was thinking about the NFL might. I don't know how their season's going to go with no fans or anything, but I've never been to an NFL game, so I was wondering if you would say that going to one is actually overrated or not. Do you prefer just watching one from home?
See, I mean,
Go ahead.
I have some thoughts on this. I think it depends. Like, there's
I mean,
there's
obviously,
so
it
many
depends on how big of a
variables.
fan of the sport that you are.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, for us, we're all big fans of football, so I mean, obviously, it'd be pretty cool. I mean, it's really cool, like being there and seeing it live and everything. Like, but it really depends on the seats. If you have good seats, like if you're in the nosebleeds, it kind of sucks. It's like, oh, like I don't know. It's just like it's hard to see everything, but I mean, it's so
Yeah,
cool just being there with the
are they just
atmosphere.
showing like the game on the jumbotron the whole time, like the TV broadcast?
Yeah, they are, but I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, when you're in the cheap seats, like, you can still like see the game and like see everything, but it's just like
Yeah,
I
because
don't
I
know.
was
It's
wondering
not
like how
as
good of a view you could even see of like where they are, like how close to the first down and stuff like that. I guess they would show it on the scoreboard like 4th and 1 or whatever, but when
yeah.
you
I
just
mean,
see
I
a
think
pile of bodies, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on.
yeah. I mean, I think going to games is definitely like a super cool experience. I think the best time to go to a game though is prime time, because my favorite part about football is how they have like all the games going on at the same time. That's what sucks if you go to like a morning game or something, because like that's what I did. Is that like one? What was it? Is I think. Oh my god, I can't even remember. There's one game I went to where it was like, is the Vikings Seahawks game a couple years back where it was like an afternoon game or something. And so like we get there early, like during the morning games, and then the game that you're watching live is during the afternoon game. So pretty much like that's the only game you're watching for the entire day. It's like you didn't really get to see any other the action from all the other games. Like that kind of sucks. But I mean, I don't know. If you can go to like a primetime game like Sunday night or like Monday nights, really nice. So you can figure that out. And that's like perfect. So then you have Sunday to watch all the other games, and then your game is just like the only one on, and you can just focus on that and not have to like, you know, look at everything else going
Yeah,
on.
and
But
that's the problem is because I've been to 2 NFL games, and both of them were like the 1 o'clock Pacific time slot, and that's totally a problem because like obviously we're like really big into fantasy, so like trying to track what's going on, but like obviously like I'm a big Seahawks fan, so like I care a lot more about what's going on in the Seahawks game, but so I just like have to disregard everything that's happening like around the rest of the NFL. But for me, like
yeah,
the first NFL game I went to was probably like I don't know 3 or 4 years ago, and actually, yeah, it was 4 years ago because I had a broken ankle, so I was on crutches. So it was like a really weird experience
yikes.
because it was like my first NFL game, but like I literally just like hobbled into the stadium and like went to my seat and didn't move for the whole game. So like it was still really cool
Are the
because
people
like
standing in front of
getting to
you
see a
like the
live
whole
game
time,
and
like getting up to
like
cheer?
being in a situation where there's just like tens of
All
thousands
right,
of
fans,
Seahawks
get on
fans.
your
But
feet. Mason has to grab
I
his
don't know.
fucking
This
crutches.
and that game was cool because it was they played the Eagles. Yeah, they played the
Yeah, I
Eagles,
remember that
and that
game.
was the game that Doug Baldwin threw a touchdown pass to Russell Wilson. So
Oh
I saw
yeah, that
that
was a good
live,
game.
which was kind of cool.
That was
Yeah.
when
And
the
then
Eagles were
my
like tearing it up too. Didn't they win the Super
what?
Bowl that year?
No, that was before.
Oh,
It was,
okay.
yeah.
Hello?
We can hear you. Hello. Hello. Oh shit. But yeah, I mean I remember that game because Brady was actually at that game
Hello?
too. With his hello, can you hear us? Oh my gosh.
Damn it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. All right, I'm
Okay.
back.
Okay.
But yeah, back to that game. Uh, one sec. Yeah, so back to that game. I remember because Brady was at that game with his fraternity that year, so I remember like watching that like there was a lot to watch. I was like, oh shit, this game's going on. Seahawks, Eagles, and Brady and Mason are at the game. So like,
Yeah, that
I
was
hope it's a
super
good
random.
game.
I ran into Brady while I was there, which was kind of crazy. That game honestly was pretty boring, but yeah, Russell Wilson caught a touchdown pass that game, and then CJ Procise had like a 75-yard touchdown run that game, which was super weird. But then the
Jeez.
second game I went to, I was not on crutches, and it was the Seahawks Texans game a few years ago when
Oh
shit.
when it went
I
like
forgot you went to that game. Holy
40 to
shit.
43 or whatever, and went to overtime. Yeah, that was an insane game, and that was
Yeah, I was
like
Deshaun
watching that at
Watson's
Blake's
rookie year.
apartment.
yeah, and that was crazy because like everybody talks about how loud CenturyLink gets, and I was in that game. I was in the 200 level, so I was up top, like in the middle. So like how CenturyLink like kind of like reverberates sound or whatever using like the
It kind of like
roof.
curves up at the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Well, and so when Russ threw a touchdown, like the winning touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham at the end, like my ears were ringing, like how crazy loud that stadium was. Like I've
Yeah,
never
it
heard
does
it
get
sound
really
that loud.
loud.
Yeah, and I mean, especially in that situation, because like the Eagles game was cool, but there was not like one single play that was like that crazy to where everybody's just like screaming at the top of their
It was
lungs.
like
But
every single play was like a touchdown or turnover.
yeah,
Or just
yeah,
big
DeAndre
play.
Hopkins went crazy. He had like 230 yards that game, and then yeah, that was just an awesome game to go to. Um, but and then I also have season tickets for WSU football, so like I've watched a lot of like live football, and WSU is a little different just because like I don't know, I'm a lot bigger NFL fan than I am a college football fan, but the games
Yeah,
are
Yeah.
same.
still
I
super
don't really
fun.
follow college that much.
Yeah. But that's the problem is like the NFL like game experience is so cool, but at the same time like I'm so invested into like what's going on in the game that like I'm not gonna go like explore the stadium or like do anything like that because like I'm not gonna get out of my seat and like stop watching the game. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like it's still obviously super cool, but I can see why some people would rather just like watch at home.
Yeah. I mean,
You
like some
know
of the
how much it
games.
costs to go to the NFL games that you went to?
What? How
Do you
much it
remember how
costs?
much like it costs? Yeah.
Um, yeah. So the first one, I went with my family. So there was four of us, and we were in probably like the 20th row, like on the corner, in like the like lower level. So we had like pretty decent seats. And I think four tickets was like $1,500. So it's
Oh
pretty
shit.
expensive. And then for the
Yeah.
second one, it was probably like, yeah, we were up in the upper bowl, and it was probably like I don't know, like $300 a seat. And I went with my family and my grandparents for that one. But yeah, it's pretty expensive, which is crazy. I actually signed up. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I signed up for the well, assuming hopefully that there's actually fans this season. I signed up for the Seahawks ticket distribution email for this year because the Seahawks play the Vikings on Sunday night this season. Or it might be.
So is that like kind of like an auction thing for like
Well,
season ticket
no.
holders that
So
don't
the
want
thing
the
is
ticket?
with Seahawks is they have. I mean, they have like general ticket sales or whatever, but they just sell out so quickly. So they actually have like an email distribution that goes out that basically says, right, tickets are going to go on sale on this date at this time. And you basically have to be online and ready to buy tickets right at that time. And hopefully you're quick enough to where you're actually going to be able to get tickets. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend a bunch of money and get them on StubHub or whatever. But like the face value of tickets is really not that expensive. Like you can get like decent seats if you buy them from the actual stadium for like $100 a ticket. So, and I think you can buy like up to
Yeah.
four. So I'm like, man, like I'm probably just gonna like whenever that day comes, I'm just gonna buy like four tickets for that game. And then like if like I mean obviously you guys would probably want to go to that or like whoever wants to go, like I'll have four tickets and then if like nobody wants to go, then I can just resell them and make money. Like
Yeah, it's crazy how much like you can resell that stuff or they can go for on StubHub. I remember it was like I think Gonzaga might have been number one team. It was like a few years back, but I think a home game ticket for Gonzaga was like $640 or something, and then like a ticket for a game at San Francisco College was like 30 to some dollars.
yeah, Gonzaga's a little weird though because so they don't have general admission seating. So it's only in Gonzaga's in McCarthy Athletic Center, it's only students and season ticket holders. And Gonzaga has a
Jeez.
very strict rule that you're not allowed to resell tickets. Like if you have season tickets, and if you get caught reselling tickets, then they'll take your season tickets away. So like
Oh my
it's
gosh.
very rare that tickets actually go up for sale because some people are just like willing to risk it for like a ton of money. But that's why you'll only see like one or two tickets available for like any game because like all that means is that like one person is willing to risk it to get like hundreds of dollars.
I feel like it would be
But
hard to get away because usually
That
get
is,
away with it,
it's
'cause
really
it's like,
surprising to me that like even any tickets are available because
yeah,
like
because you
it's
can just
such, like,
find
a
out
high-risk thing.
who had that seat that's getting sold like pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean it's not that hard for them to track whoever that is down. But
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I remember my dad's friend or something. I think they lived in like Arizona or something or Texas. I don't know, but they were like, I think they were fans of like, oh no, they lived in like Arizona and they were fans of like the Cowboys. So pretty much what they did is they had like a separate like apartment place, like a timeshare or something. I don't know, but basically what they did was that they had season tickets for the I don't know what the fuck they had season tickets for like some NFL team, and they basically had people they like sold their ticket for every game and then like let people stay in their apartment or whatever like with it, and they
Like a
basically
B&B
made
combo package.
yeah, and so like they made enough money off that to where they could go to like a Dallas Cowboy game for free like every single year, like just for doing that, just for like figuring it like making enough money off like selling from I don't know their season tickets they had for like the Cardinals or whatever that they could pay for like a whole trip to like Dallas or whatever.
Yeah.
It
I
was
mean, I
weird.
believe it. That's honestly super smart.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Like I mean, for games that I've gone to, like as far as like experience, I mean, I've gone to a lot of Vikings games in Seattle, which all sucked because we lose every fucking time. So like
Damn right.
it always sucks when your team loses. But going to games like in Minnesota with like actual Vikings fans and like seeing the new stadium and shit, like oh yeah, it's definitely worth it. Because I know Zach, you've never been to a live game, right?
Yeah, no, never.
Yeah, so you should definitely try to go soon.
I know we almost got XFL.
Yeah, I'm so pissed. Oh my gosh.
That would have been so fun, honestly.
I know, just to like fuck around. Like yeah, like we're still like root for the Dragons, but it's not like a big deal if they lose. It's more of just like a oh let's fuck around and watch this XFL shit go down.
I didn't think that they were going to shut down the whole league after the season got canceled because I thought
Yeah,
they were doing well enough.
they were doing like I'm pretty sure Oliver Luck, the commissioner or something, is suing uh what's his face? Fucking Vince McMahon, yeah, for shutting it down because like they were making
Didn't he
good money.
guarantee funding for like 3 years or
Yeah,
something?
that's the
Like
thing
he,
is they like announced
Yeah.
like once coronavirus started, they're like, oh, luckily the XFL has enough like operating capital to last them at least 2 whole seasons already, so they're gonna be fine. And then like a week later, they're like, all right, we're canceling the season and discontinuing the league. It's like, what the hell happened?
Well, yeah, I remember when they first canceled. They're like, "Hey, like, thanks for your support. Like, I'm sorry we have to shut down the season early, but like, we'll see you next year. We can't wait." And then they just went bankrupt. It's like, what the fuck? like we were loving this. Like, come on, like,
I
keep
think
it going.
there's
Like,
some. I wonder if there's some sort of like some money laundering scheme going on to where it's like they check their bank account and someone stole like $3 million.
yeah, it's all
Yeah,
Jim
that'd be fun,
Zorn.
though. That's kind of how I feel about going to WSU games, though. Like similar to how like going to a Dragons game would be. It's like obviously like I support the team, like a fan or whatever, but like it doesn't ruin my day if I go down to Pullman and the Cougs lose. I'm just like, oh, like that sucks. But
Yeah, it's more just for being there, other than like watching the game. Like, if
yeah,
I go to
whereas
like a Vikings Seahawks game, I'm trying to like watch the Vikings, not really like get food and get drunk and shit and everything.
yeah,
So
like if I went to a Seahawks game in Seattle and the Seahawks lost, like I would be so mad. So luckily
yeah, tell me
they've
about
won
it.
both the games I've been to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird going to a WSU game this year. I'm assuming because there's a new coach and everything like that. So
Yeah, we'll see if
Yeah, that's
they
what's
even let people in. But
Yeah, it's what's weird too, because like working with like the old coaching staff, like now almost every single coach that did work at WC that like I know is now at Mississippi State. So it's like I have no correlation with like WSU now, besides that I live here and like graduated from here or whatever. So it's like I don't know if I'm gonna root more like if I'm gonna watch more WC games or like Mississippi State, because I'm more interested of like how Mississippi State does rather than I don't know
well,
WSU.
did you mark your calendars for the Mississippi State WSU home and home series that starts in 2030?
Yeah, in 10 years I set my alarm on my phone. I
I
can't wait.
literally can't believe that. Like, there's no way that both coaches are still like coaching in 10 years at those respective schools. If Mike Leach is
There's no
still at
way.
Mississippi State in 10 years, I will be so surprised.
Yeah, it's so dope. And like fucking Alabama and Ohio State scheduled like a home and home series for like 2027 and 2028 or some shit, which is like not as bad, but it's still like ridiculous. Like, remember the last time they played when Ezekiel Elliott scored a huge touchdown against them? It's like, cool, Ezekiel Elliott will be fucking retired by then. So, like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's just dumb. It's like getting excited for like the 2030 Olympics. It's like, okay, like, yeah, it'll happen eventually, but like, I'm not gonna fucking wait for it. You know?
Is Michael Phelps going to be in it? Because that's all I know.
You bet he will. Fucking gray hair. But yeah, there's
Yeah.
another topic you sent me about shows or channels or something that went downhill really fast. I got some interesting ones.
Yeah. Mason, my question was, do you have any shows or channels that you watch that you think fell off the hardest in quality over time?
I mean, pretty much all of the channels that I watched when I was a kid.
Everything.
Like, but I don't know if that's just
Yeah.
because the channel sucks now or just because I'm old now and everything just seems like the stupidest jokes of all
Probably a
time.
little bit of both.
Well,
Like,
I don't know. Like,
Well, no, like even I was watching when you had what show was that? Ned's
Ned's
Declassified
Declassified.
Survive. Yeah, and I was just like, wow, this
It's
book
rough.
is so stupid. Like, how did I
It's
like
rough.
this so much?
it's a great show. You guys should fuck off.
I like it for nostalgia reasons, but I mean, even back then, I was like, "There's so many damn
Yeah,
sound
like if
effects.
you watch
I
that
can't
show,
deal with this."
like right now, having never seen it before, you would be like, this is the stupidest thing of all time.
Okay,
And,
but for
and
all
that's
those
how,
listeners
like,
out there,
Disney shows.
I purchased every season of Ned's Declassified a few weeks ago. It's
Didn't
$45
you just say
in
you
total.
did you buy Zoe 101 or something, or was
Yes,
it
I
just
did. But this is about Ned's Declassified though. This is about a different financial purchase I made. So I bought every season of Ned's Declassified, and I've watched like every single episode, and it's so good. It's like there's a YouTube video by Nerdstalgic, great YouTuber, who does a lot of good videos. He made a video about Ned's Declassified and basically just like why it worked, and like it's basically a cartoon but live action. Like it's not supposed to be like, you know, like fucking Degrassi and that dumb shit. It's like it's quirky and it's like weird, you know, like it's like it's just a fun middle school show, and it gives a lot of good tips, you know, like it's really educational and entertaining. So you can
That's
all
how I
fuck
became
off.
cool.
Exactly.
I watched Ned's Declassified.
I used his tips.
I just tried to imitate Cookie in my entire life.
that can be our our thumbnail is P Cookie when he gets all swagged up and looks like a gangsta.
Oh God,
I was more of a melon head guy.
Coconut Head.
Coconut head, you fucking cunt.
You
Fuck you, Zach.
uncultured.
I should hang up right now. Fuck you. I don't like, but yeah, like there's so many shows like now that we have like Disney Plus and everything that I bought in every season of Zoe 101 and as a classified, like just rewatching those, like they're good. Like I don't know if it's just nostalgic purposes or just they're actual good shows, but just compared to now, it's just like so much more in depth, and they have like just better characters and just like I don't know, it's just so much better, you know. Like the old Disney shows, it's like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, like Wizards of Waverly Place, and like all that shit, like Hannah Montana, like I don't know. I mean, I guess yeah, it's hard to tell if it's all nostalgia, but like it's just so much better than like stuff going on now. Because now it's just like all this wild shit with like they have to use like internet and phone and like they just have to be all about that shit. It's like it doesn't have to be like that. You can just still have a regular fucking show without being like, oh my gosh, my iPhone got cracked. I hate you now. You're not my friend anymore. It's just like I don't know. Like
Yeah, the
that's a
thing about the
Raven.
old shows is that like they're not
Ugh.
like amazing or anything to me, but I can still like watch them and find them at least kind of enjoyable instead of the shows that are on now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like I was watching Raven's Home, the new That's a Raven spinoff.
Oh, that's been on for a little while now, right?
Yeah, it's not terrible. Like I mean, it's fun watching like Raven, Simone, and Chelsea from the old That's a Raven like interact and stuff, and it's like with their kids. But I don't know. It's just you can just tell the difference in like how they make the shows. Like I feel like nowadays
I
they're
feel like a
all just
spin-off
the
is just
same.
gonna be as good anyway, like from the get
Yeah.
go. Especially because
Like,
like
there's-
oh, it's gonna be a whole different writing team too.
It just feels like all of Ned's like not all of like Disney Channel is like the same shit like over and over again, but it was just like different characters. Like there's no like Ned's Declassified going on now. There's no like variety in like shows. Like Zoe 101 was serious, like no laugh track, like not serious, but like I don't know, more I don't know, more serious in general. And then as a classified, it was super like crazy and like off the wall, a bunch of sound effects and all that shit. And then you had like, I don't know, fucking Drake and Josh with laugh track and like just a fun show. But now I feel like everything has a laugh track and everything is just like stupid humor. Like I don't know.
I think I knew everything was kind of going downhill. Because around the time I stopped watching those channels, Nickelodeon introduced the Fred TV show.
Oh God.
What
I
do you
was
mean?
like, yeah, the world's about to end.
Yeah,
Did you ever
remember.
watch the Fred movie?
And I've seen YouTube videos about it, but
Yeah, I used to
I've-
like watch.
I've watched
Fred
that movie
YouTube videos
several
once in a
times.
while, but definitely not the movie.
Like, I wonder what he's up to now. You think he's still alive?
I doubt it.
Did you ever go back to that channel and see what they ended up doing with it afterwards?
no.
No.
They turned it into like a kids interview adults on the street kind of show. And they
On the
just had
street?
yeah,
Why are
and they
kids
just
on
had
the
like
street?
microphones that said Fred on it. It's like asked adults.
This is the Fred political channel. We're at protests and rioters, and we're interviewing them all.
Here, I'm actually gonna go to that channel on YouTube and just see what like the last episode was that got uploaded to it. I don't know if
Jeez.
I don't know if they're still uploading. They have 2.92 million subs,
Oh God.
It's not bad.
and so the last video was uploaded 4 years ago, and the show series is called "Questions My Parents Won't Answer," and it's one black kid and then one white kid holding a microphone, and then the title of the video is "Where Do Babies Come From?"
Oh my God.
I wonder
And
why
that
they
was
don't
the
answer
last
that.
episode.
Can you imagine if some kid just like walked up to you on the street? You're just like minding your own business, and some like 8-year-old kid walks up to you and is like, "Excuse me, sir," and they put a mic in your face, and they're like, "Where do babies come from?"
Am I about to be arrested right now?
What is going on?
Am I on pranked? Is again Justin Timberlake gonna come out somewhere?
Justin Timberlake.
Ashton Kutcher.
Close enough.
Yeah. Like, have you checked out a Disney Channel original movie recently? Because they put all of them on Disney Plus.
Wait, say that again.
I said, have you checked out a Disney Channel original movie recently? Now that they're like a new one, now that they're all on Disney Plus.
I mean, not really. I mean, there's been some that I've seen just like going to my mom's place or whatever of like, I don't know, just like having them on shit and like, I don't know. I
Did
can't
you check
like,
out that High
watch
School
it.
Musical thing that got posted, like that launched with Disney Plus? Because was that a movie or a show? I don't
It's an
know.
original series. It's basically like High School Musical. It's like, it's a weird fucking show. It's basically like a high school is doing a rendition of High School Musical, but like,
Yeah, isn't it like
Like,
the
that's their
school
school
that High
play.
School Musical was like filmed at? Like the students at that school are doing High School Musical as like an actual school musical.
something like that. I don't fucking know. It's like Inception, Disney Channel. I don't fucking know. But no, I haven't really watched any of that stuff. There has been some old shows and movies that I have watched that
That'd be
do not
weird.
hold up.
Dude,
That'd
that
be like the school that Twilight took place at is now launching their own vampire show.
Dude,
Yeah.
that actually reminds me. So I saw this thing earlier today where it was talking about the most like widely translated Wikipedia pages. Did you see that?
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, and it was so the number one, like to most different languages, like the number 1 and 2 most widely translated Wikipedia articles were Jesus Christ and Barack Obama. They were translated to like 250 different languages or whatever. Number 3 is Corbin Blue, supporting actor for High School Musical. His Wikipedia page is translated to like 217 different languages.
It's amazing. I mean, it obviously shows that a lot of
So
people
who's
across
responsible
the
for
world,
doing that?
Just random
everybody
people.
across the world, they're into Jump
They got
In, they're
Blue
into
Fever.
High School Musical. Yeah, exactly. They're the Blue Crew. Yeah.
Blue Crew.
That's a good YouTube
was
channel
awful.
Yeah.
subscriber name.
But spelled BLEU, like that fuckface's last name.
Oh my
But
God.
do you guys remember Sunny with a Chance? You guys remember that show?
Yeah.
I think I watched a little bit, mainly at your house, I think.
I
Yeah.
remember it being really bad, and I rewatched it because Kira was like, "Oh, I love this show," and then we rewatched it, and it's just so bad. Like the humor just ridiculous and just so stupid. And then last night I rewatched Life is Rough, one of my favorite all-time DComs, and it did not hold up. Unfortunately, it was not that. It was so fucking dumb, and like
This
there's
movie
so
is
much.
rough.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much stupid shit, and I was like, why did I watch this so many times? Like it's just like bad acting and like just dumb shit. Like I listened to a podcast where it's like a brother and sister, and they like review Disney Channel original movies. It's very entertaining because like they just like kind of make fun of them, but like they still like I don't know rate them and like enjoy the tropes that Disney Channel does. But I'm just waiting for the like now. Whenever I watch a DCOM, a Disney Channel original movie, I just like think about like what they would say and like how shitty this is, and it's just a bad movie. Kyle
I still
Massey
like
is
once a
not my
month
hero
think about
anymore.
once a month I still think about that Zombies Disney Channel original movie that we watched
Yeah,
and how much of a
It-
train wreck that was.
yeah. I don't know. I thought it was better than like what I expected, but it's still bad. It's bad. Oh man, they have a Zombies 2 now, Zach. You should check it out.
They do?
They introduce werewolves. Yeah.
Oh my god, I gotta watch that tonight.
Have you guys ever seen Zombievers?
I have
No, I
actually.
haven't
I
It's
have
not
seen
a
watched that.
decom,
Zombievers.
but a fantastic movie.
I think that movie's like an hour and 20 minutes, and I think like 40 minutes is like just sex.
It's pretty ridiculous. Have you ever heard the premise, Blake?
I mean, I can kind of figure it out by the title of Zombievers,
It's
and
actually
I've
not
seen the thumbnail.
not what you would think. It's like a group of like college students that goes to like this remote cabin or whatever, and there's like some radioactive waste that gets like spilled in the lake that they're at, and so all of the beavers in the lake turn to zombies and start just brutally murdering all of the people. And
Jeez.
it's like supposed to be some like horror movie, and it is just so cheesy that it's like hilarious.
My God.
But highly recommended. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, so you're gonna have to
I
get on
think
the
I
dark
saw it
web to
on
find
I'll
it.
pay
Prime,
for it.
Prime Video.
It's worth a look.
Bill Burr's in that.
Really?
Yeah, he plays a truck driver.
Oh, great. I'm trying to think of like other shows that I watched recently that just like interesting. I mean, obviously, I always bring up Dark. I know that's an amazing show that no one will ever watch for I don't know why.
Have you,
It's
well, have
just
you checked? Did you check out that new movie that just dropped on Disney Plus, Artemis Fowl, that I heard was terrible?
I heard it was really bad. I have not watched it yet though. I never read the books or anything, so I don't
I
really
heard
have
that
any.
like originally was announced, like they released the trailer for it like 3 years ago or something, and then it just finally came out.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
but
to
I
check
think I
it
watched
out.
like the first half and it wasn't great. It's like everything is narrated. It's
Yeah.
You know what
narrated by
TV
Josh
show?
Gad doing weird
You know what TV show from childhood definitely holds up to the test of time?
Let's hear it.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
Oh my god,
absolutely.
just
Have you seen that,
rewatched
Zach?
it. Oh, so good.
I watched quite a bit of it when I was younger, but I don't remember like anything about it.
Oh my
Dude, you should
gosh, you should.
rewatch
And I
it.
watched the M Night Shyamalan movie too.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
no,
don't do that.
the movie sucks. Yeah, just go on Netflix and watch the series. The only thing
Yeah,
that matters.
it's really good. Because I just rewatched it having like barely any memory of it from childhood. Like I remember liking it when I was a kid, but I didn't really remember.
Yeah,
much
same with me. I
storyline.
don't remember much, but I remember liking it.
But yeah, so I just rewatched it. And it's so good.
Did you watch that spin-off that came out? The
Oh,
Legend of
Legend of
Korra?
Korra. I actually just watched the first like 2 episodes of it, but the problem is it's only on it's on CBS All Access, I think, and it's on like the
What?
Nicktoons like add-on to Amazon Prime. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's like $8 a month. It's like Disney Plus, but for Nickelodeon.
Yeah, and
I did not
so
know they had that.
yeah, and I don't have either.
We talked
You
about
of all
it
people don't know they have that? Are you kidding?
because you're telling me that you bought Zoe 101. I was like, oh, you can just
Yeah,
rent
dude,
all Nick
it's
shows for
it's
$8.
$8 a month. It's like an attachment to an Amazon Prime thing, and it's called like Nick. I don't even know what it's called. It's like Nicktoons or something like that, but it's all just old.
I think it's Nickelodeon All Access or something.
Yeah, something like that. But it has like just a ton of like old Nickelodeon shows.
Yeah, I want to see what's on there.
And
Actually,
Legend of Korra is
Nickelodeon
on
behind the scenes with Dan Schneider.
But yeah, so I was trying to find. Oh
We're
god.
selling you full access.
But so I was trying to find Legend of Korra like online to watch it somewhere, and I found some like shady stream of it, but it was only the first 2 episodes, and I couldn't find any more of it. And I was like, well, I've heard the show isn't even that good. So
I know there's an Xbox game of it too.
an Xbox
I'm
game.
sure there was.
Yeah, Legend of Korra game.
Interesting. Well, did you hear they're making a Netflix is doing a live action like series for Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I don't know if
I heard
imagine
that.
that
It
being
better
as
it
good.
better not be bad. I really hope it's good.
I feel like that's just one of those
Cool.
shows that's only going to be at its best form in a cartoon.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it's
I
so
feel like
like
that's one of those shows though that there's so much stuff that happens because obviously the seasons are like what 20 episodes long and they're like 25-minute
yeah,
episodes. But the thing is, if you do like a 10 episode, like hour-long episode mini series, like per book or whatever, like I feel like there's enough time to like cover everything that happens. But we'll see. I think if they try and cram the entire series into 10 episodes, then that won't work. But if they do like
yeah. Well,
multiple
I
seasons,
mean, the
then it
movie
could.
tried to just do book one off one movie. That was a fucking
Yeah, but that
train
was
wreck.
also only what 2 hours long, if even hour 45. So if you do a 10 episode book one and it's 10 hours long, like
It's
that's
true.
actually longer than the original series because the original series was 20 episodes at 20 minutes apiece. So
Yeah.
I
In
don't
the
know.
live
I think
action movie, they also mispronounce every single character's name. They call them
yeah, that was
fucking
annoying.
Ong and shit. It's like, alright, did you not watch the show? Like, what is wrong with you, Night Shyamalan? Fuck you.
Yeah.
What's Cartoon Network up to nowadays?
Oh, jeez. Fucking Uncle Grandpa.
Uncle
Regular
Grandpa?
show is a good show. Never heard of Uncle Grandpa? You serious, man?
No. I haven't turned on
It's
Cartoon Network in 10 years.
it's the weirdest show ever. I refuse to watch it. Regular show's a good show though. I actually like that a lot. Um, besides that,
Oh,
I mean Adventure Time, but I never really got into that at all.
yeah, and I liked regular show for a little bit, but
You guys,
I only watched like the first season.
have you guys ever seen Gravity Falls from Disney?
I've seen a little bit of it.
No.
Mason? It's a really good. You guys should watch that. I think it's really like it's like the one Disney cartoon that they've ever made. It's so good. It has it's like it's not it's a like Avatar to where like they have 3 seasons and it has like a beginning and an end. Like it's like a story.
Mhm.
And
Mason, I
it's
think
not
your
like
mic buzzing.
Oh, that's not me. I can
what?
hear that too. It
Oh,
stopped.
then it was Blake.
What's happening?
Your mic was
Yeah,
buzzing.
it's
It
it's
stopped.
gone now. Yeah, it
Okay.
stopped.
I'll try not
There
to
must have been a bee in your ear.
Yeah, there
Or
is
on your mic,
actually.
I guess.
But yeah, it's really good. You guys should watch Gravity Falls. It's all on Disney Plus. I've been rewatching it. It only has 2 seasons, but like it's like really long season. But
Literally, there's
really good.
only, I would say there's only 2 TV shows that are still airing on actual cable television that I still watch, and one of them
Let's
is
see if I can
South
guess
Park.
them.
Oh,
Survivor.
yeah, Survivor.
Go watch.
So I would like I'll watch South Park as it airs, and then I'm still super into Survivor. But other than that, like there's nothing that's on cable television that I still watch.
There's so many fucking commercials. Oh my gosh. I think I was at my mom's house or like just like working out. I'll have it on the TV and it's just like I'll just be watching commercials. And it's just like I feel like it's been like 5 minutes. Like why is the show not on yet? And it's just like no, I was watching Price is Right at Kyle's Lake Place, and it's like every 2 minutes there's ads, and it's like 5 minutes of ads, then like 4 minutes of Price is Right, and then like another 5 minutes of ads, and it's just like what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, you know it's bad when you go through the guide and then it's like this movie has a runtime of 100 minutes, and then the guide it's like 2.5
Yeah.
hour programming block.
No, there was one. I think it was like Lord of the Rings or something. Had like it was like over 4 hours, and it's like, oh my gosh, like why is there so many fucking
Yeah,
ads
who
in
has
this shit?
time?
Exactly, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was looking up Nick Hits to see what was on there, and you can watch 5 episodes free of All Grown Up. Um,
Oh shit.
but yeah, there's so many shows that Nickelodeon's doing that I didn't even know existed. Like they have a new
Favorite
Alvin and the
baby's
Chipmunk
going through
show.
puberty.
They have a
Oh
show
really?
now.
Alvin, the computer
Yeah,
animated one.
they made him look like an actual human kid though.
Yeah, it's really
Oh, that's weird.
gross looking. Yeah, I've seen some of that.
What is this movie Blurt? There's some really weird movies that are. Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie. What the
What?
it's just the cast of Hey Arnold just standing in a jungle, and then there's the Fairly Odd movie with Drake Bell playing Timmy Turner.
What? That's a
Did you guys
thing?
ever watch this?
Mason, I
I've
didn't
never
watch
seen
those.
them.
I
I've
know
never seen
them
them.
though. They're not like
It came out in 2011.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Fairly
after
Odd
my
movie
time.
grew up Timmy
I don't
Turner.
think I was watching a Fairly Odd live action movie when I was 15.
I don't know. That's back when I still like watched cable and stuff. So I saw the commercials of like, oh my gosh, like live action for that parents. We have Drake
What do you
Bell.
mean you weren't streaming Hulu in 2011?
I used Hulu when it was free before it became like a big thing. I remember Hulu. I would like watch it. Like I would go to the golf course with my mom when she was closing, and I'd like sit on the computer and just watch like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends for free on Hulu because like no one knew about it, and I was like, this is amazing. And now it's like fucking $7 a month, and I'm like, what the fuck, Hulu? But no, I knew
Oh,
Hulu, but
and then there's a movie called Swindle from 2013 that stars Ariana Grande and Gibby from
oh yeah,
iCarly.
yeah, it has Gibby. I
Oh my
remember that. I never
What a
watched
weird combo.
Yeah.
it. They're also sexual partners. I remember.
Are they
There's a
actually?
movie from
No, I'm joking.
2015
Jeez.
called
Oh.
Liar Liar Vampire.
Oh my god.
And then there's see what it was Fairly Odd Christmas with Drake Bell, live action Timmy Turner, and
They
then a
were
Fairly
able
Odd
to
Summer.
sign him for a second.
3.
Oh my god.
You think
There's
Drake
a
Bell's
Fairly
doing
Odd
anything
Summer.
right now? He's not like a big time celebrity. Fucking Drake Bell. Who fucking cares about him?
Just the picture of this thumbnail, Drake Bell's face looks like he wants to end it all.
With his
I'm gonna
pink
send it-
hat and shit.
I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Jeez.
Put it in the Discord chat. Yeah, it's I don't know.
So
There's a lot of weird
I
shit
put it
going
in
on.
Snapchat.
in a completely unrelated note, are you guys going to buy the Xbox Series X on launch day?
I probably end up will.
Was that one of you who told me that it's only going to be like $400? Because if that's true, that is really surprising to me.
I don't know. They haven't announced the price yet. It's gonna be 400 or 500, one of the two.
That's what I heard from Kyle. Like everything. So apparently, what Kyle says that it's gonna be 400, but they also have another thing you can buy where it only costs 200, but you can only play digital games. Which
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
there's
did that
no disc.
anyways. Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna be that much cheaper. I think it's only 100 cheaper or $50 cheaper.
yeah, but still though, like $300 for a brand new fucking 4K console, like that's insane.
I still would buy the disc one just so I can play movies on it too.
Oh yeah, thought of that.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
Because I
know.
don't use disc games, but I still watch movies.
Do you
on
remember when they
Xbox.
first announced the Xbox One, and when they announced it, they said it wasn't going to have a disc drive, and it was
I
only
was
going to have
so
digital
not
download,
gonna buy it.
and everybody like lost their minds, and Microsoft's like, okay, just kidding. Like,
No, the thing
I
was,
don't
it was
remember
gonna have
that
a disc
happening.
drive, but you would put the disc in once, it would grab the license, and then you would never need the disc again.
oh really?
Yeah, so there was going to be no point, no disc at all. And then it was like if you weren't connected to internet for more than like 1 hour, you like the Xbox would like lock up or something, and like you wouldn't be able to play anything. And then you had to have the Kinect plugged in at all times, else the thing wouldn't work.
The Connect.
And then they had a big focus on TV, like the Kinect plugged in with the TV
Oh,
or whatever.
Zach, you weren't in the party the other day when I was talking about this with Blake. Did
I
you
was
watch
gonna
the
bring
trailer
that
for
up.
the new Madden thing? Or the new Madden game?
Yeah, and like the big focus was like emotes in the end zone.
Yeah, how you'll be able to like do like more intense.
And like nothing else changed. Like what were their even selling points on? I don't even remember.
Just like that you could like
It's
reach
awful,
for first
but-
down stuff. But I was telling
It was like better juke animations. I think that was it.
I was like, what EA needs to do is you should be able to plug in your Kinect to your Xbox One and create your own touchdown celebrations.
That would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. Like, could you imagine just doing just ridiculous things? Oh man.
I mean, watching the Kinect try to follow your Xbox avatar with you was pretty scarring. So I could imagine how Madden would do it.
I haven't plugged my
Yeah.
Kinect into my Xbox in like 5 years.
I actually
Kinect was
found my
honestly
Kinect,
pretty
but
fun.
I found my Kinect that came with the Xbox One. But the thing is, I have the Xbox One X, and it doesn't even have a port for it. You have to buy an adapter that costs like $40.
What the fuck?
That's so sad.
So I have no use for it. I can't even.
I
use
have
it.
like 4 Kinects just sitting at my mom's house. Like I've gotten so many, just like I don't know where we get them from, but just like we can't get rid
Just
of
put them
It's
around
just,
your
like,
house for security.
Yeah, like Bobby bought like an Xbox a long time ago or something. And like, oh, it comes with a free Kinect, and he's like, well, I'm never gonna use it, so he just gave it to my mom. And like somehow we have like 4 now. Like they've just been like reproducing, and it's just like, can we just get rid of these
Kinect
fucking
Sports wasn't that
Kinects?
bad.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some decent ones, but
Yeah, I mean,
the
yeah, the only
NPR.
thing that I liked playing on it was like Just Dance. It was much better on there than like the Wii, where it just tracks the remote.
Zach,
You
I would
have to
love
move
to
your
watch you
hand.
play Just Dance.
we can stream and put it on our YouTube channel.
Oh my god. Deep thoughts.
It's a good time.
Party.
Dance.
Deep Thoughts Dance Party. God.
We need
That
to.
age restricted. Age restricted.
Oh my god.
It's just dancing, but after every song, we take off a piece of clothing.
Oh my god.
We should make an OnlyFans account, Zach.
Gross.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Mason's our only subscriber.
No,
Yeah.
you just don't even have a Patreon. You just skip right over Patreon and go straight to OnlyFans.
Mason's like, hey bros, I saw your OnlyFans post. Nice job.
Nice moves.
Worth the $5. Yeah.
I'm thinking about subscribing. What are the benefits?
I'll show you the benefits. If I can pull down my pants.
Oh my god.
But gosh, what was I gonna
Anyway,
say?
that almost led into my next topic when we were talking about Madden.
Oh,
But,
beautiful.
I was wondering if there's any besides NFL Street, if there's any sports games or franchises to see brought back.
That you want to see brought back? Yes, I have a very strong opinion about this, and
Skate?
I'm so excited that Skate 4 is officially coming. Oh my god, Skate!
Oh, it only took them to announce Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remastered.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably what happened. But yes, because Skate 3 came out in 2010, so it's been 10 years. And Skate 3, like, legitimately is probably one of my top 5 all-time favorite video games. So I am so excited about Skate 4. I actually just bought DLC for Skate 3 like a month ago. Like, I still love that game so much.
See, the thing is, I've never really gotten into like skateboarding games, so I was always wondering what like the appeal is of it.
Oh, my
What's so
dude,
great
I,
about
like,
skateboarding games?
when I was a kid, like, one of my favorite games that I had on my GameCube was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, and I loved that game. And I like just got super into like skateboarding games in general because of that. And then I remember back in 2010, or probably even before that, I was at my grandparents' house, and the neighbor at my grandparents had a son who was like my same age, and I was over there hanging out with him, and he had Skate 2 on the Xbox, and I was like watching him play, and I was like, "Oh, that game's so sweet." And then I like looked like later and saw that Skate 3 was coming out, and I was like, "Oh, I'll buy this." And I love it. So I'm so excited for Skate 4.
I was always interested in that one where I think it was like early 360, but it was a Tony Hawk game where like you had to plug in like a skateboard.
Oh yeah, Tony Hawk's Underground or whatever, or American
Yeah,
Wasteland or
I
whatever.
always wondered how that worked. Like, how does it?
No, actually, one of my friends had that, and I never played it, but I remember seeing it when I was at his house one time. And he's like, "Yeah, it's really stupid. Like, all you can do is just like turn the board side to side and like lean directions. Like, so if you like lean backwards, it like does a kick flip, and if you lean forward, it like does a heel flip. I'm like, that's so dumb. Because obviously you're not going to be able to like do actual tricks on it. So
Yeah, that was in the big craze of like console attachments like Rock Band and then Wii Fit.
we
Shit.
fit, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I remember on Wii Fit, like they had a one game where you're supposed to run to where you literally just put the remote in your pocket and you're just supposed to like kind of jog and then it does it. But I didn't know that you can just jog whatever. I thought you had to like jog on the little pad that they gave you. And so I kept trying to run on this little fucking platform and I kept like fucking rolling my ankles because like I couldn't like stand straight. And I was like, fuck this. Like I got so pissed. Oh my gosh.
I just
Fuck that
remember like
game.
no matter what, when like they would get your body size corrected or like, and then like it was always the skinniest guys I know because they only accounts for your height and weight. Like every single person that ever played that would be obese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
You just
But I
stand
guess-
on it and it just goes oof. It's like, oh thanks.
It's like, oh, you're 6 feet tall and 170 pounds. Oh, yeah, you better be 130 or else you're obese.
Yeah, they really made that game for Japanese standards and not American kid standards.
For real.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm
But yeah,
surprised they don't make any more like workout games. Is childhood? Here's my BTQ of the week. We should have a little soundboard of like a confetti shooting. But is childhood obesity still like a problem? Like
Oh,
I
yes.
never hear. Is it? I never
I
hear
think
about it now that
so
Michelle
widespread
Obama's
now
gone.
that it's like,
I think it's just widely accepted to where it's not even mentioned because everyone just knows.
yeah, like it used to be like, oh, 1 in 8 child or 1 in 8 children are obese, but now it's like 1 in 2 children are obese. So it's just like, not even worth doing anything about because everybody's obese.
I don't know. The
And it's
kids
not
I
like
hang
it's
out
gonna
with are
change
fat.
soon.
I think that's the reason for that.
I don't hang out with any kids.
I only, never mind. I only hang out with ripped kids with six packs.
Oh my god.
You, but yeah, I don't know. Like I was thinking about that. Like it's just like that was such like a big deal back when like Michelle Obama was, in office.
Super Size Me, where they're just showing all the kids at the pool.
Yeah. Rock and roll McDonald's. But
Did you ever see Super Size Me 2?
I saw the beginning. I want to watch it
You
all
should
though.
watch the rest of it. It's actually really good.
I think we might have been talking about this one time, but is it still based on McDonald's or is it on something?
No, he decides he wants to start up his own fast food company, and so he starts up like a chicken company, and he decides to be like farm to table, like, and he like raises his own chickens, and then he basically just exposes the whole chicken industry. It's super good.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work and a lot of years to get to a point where you can make a documentary on that.
Yeah,
Like I mean, like it's funny too that like he's just living off his fucking Super Size Me funds or whatever. He makes a lot of documentaries though. Actually, there was one time in class he made one about like the trash system that I watched in class in high school, to where like he had like a golden like colored trash bag, filled it with trash, gave it to the trash collector, and like followed it to like everything back to like the dump, and like how they like sorted through recycles or some all that shit, and like they kind of just like talked about that. So I don't know, he's good at showing all the corruptness in the world. So I think the Super
Was
Size
he
Me
wearing
guy
like a
is my
disguise
hero.
or something? Because I feel like at a certain point, people just like know what he looks like and be like, "Aren't
Well,
you that
no,
guy that
I mean,
exposes all the
it actually
companies?"
happens in Super Size Me 2. He gets recognized, and like the CEO of like the big chicken industry, whatever his name is, like sends out like this mass thing to like all of the like big chicken companies that basically says that like they've received news that Morgan Spurlock is like getting involved and they don't really know what's going on, and everybody like starts freaking out because they think that they're about to be exposed, and that's totally what's happening. So it's pretty crazy, and it's just because some guy just like he like buys a chicken farm or something, and somebody like recognizes him and is like, "Are you the guy from Super Size Me?" And he's like, "Yeah, like I totally don't have an ulterior motive. I'm totally just trying to start a fast food company." And the guy's like, "I don't believe you at all," and then tells everybody. It's super good.
Yeah, I remember
You
back
showed
when
him.
fast food almost killed me for eating it for like a couple weeks straight. Yeah, I'm buying a fast food restaurant, but
I realized how
I love
profitable it
fast food
was.
now. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
It's like I made a lot of money off it.
Do you guys have a favorite documentary?
Oh wow. I could list my top 15 favorite documentaries.
I think there's a lot of good 30.
Blackfish
What?
is a pretty interesting one.
Blackfish? I've never seen that.
Oh my God. I watched that in class one year, in my social studies class. It's about like SeaWorld and how shitty they are, and like how they treat their whales like terribly, and like how the whales at SeaWorld like have a longer lifespan, like in not in fucking captivity, like when they're not used for entertainment, but like they tell all their customers that like, oh yeah, like this is good for them, like we're protecting them, like they have a way higher life expectancy like in captivity, and then like a killer whale like eats one of the trainers or something,
Hmm.
like attacks her, and then like all hell breaks loose, and it's like, well, yeah, you're fucking putting him, like you're putting a giant killer whale in like a fucking like hot tub, like obviously they're not gonna be happy, and like I don't know, it's some crazy shit. It's really sad, but
Oh.
yeah.
One that I liked a lot. It was like a 30 for 30 from like 2013 or 2014, but it was called Broke. It just like shows all the ways like all these crazy spending habits that all these like NFL players and stuff have, and all these
Oh yeah,
business
I
ventures
watched
that
that
they
one in my
try and go
college
into
classes.
like save their lifestyle, like all these businesses that they buy and everything, and how they all fail all the time and stuff. It's pretty funny just to see the extent of their spending and how much they try and keep up with it.
Well, I mean, it's sad sometimes too, because like a lot of these people like they
But
work
yeah, they get
really hard.
scammed, and
Yeah,
then
well, I
like
mean,
their
they work.
family guilts them and stuff.
Yeah, the family is the biggest problem. Like they work really hard to get to like the NFL or whatever, and like they make all this money, and then their family's like, "Oh, you have so much money. Like, why don't you like
Or they
take
guilt
care of
trip him
me or
like you're
whatever?"
like without me you wouldn't have gotten there. Something if it
Yeah,
wasn't for
but
me.
it's like
Yeah.
like even like their friends like, "You're so rich, man. Like, why don't you like can you lend me some money? Can you buy me like this car or something?" But it's like they didn't win the lottery. Like they worked hard to get there. Like it's not like
Or
some
it's like they're paying for their friends' business ventures or something, like they want
yeah,
to
it's
get this. Yeah, their friend wants to get a company going, and then they fork over them for their friend, and then that goes under it.
yeah, it's some crazy shit. Mason, do you have a
I
favorite
kind of want to read.
documentary since you brought it up?
Yeah. Have you seen Free Solo?
No, I
I think you
want to
told me to
watch that
watch it like
though.
10 times
Oh,
now.
dude, it's insane. Literally, it changed my life. Like that documentary blew my mind so hard. That's the one about for all of the listeners. It's the one about the guy who Alex Honnold. He climbs El Capitan in Yosemite, which is 3,500-foot rock face, and he climbs it with no ropes, and it's insane.
That's ridiculous. Like,
What's that on? Is that on Netflix or what?
It's on Disney Plus now.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good, dude. I've probably watched it like 5 times now, and every time I'm still just like mind blown because I had heard that it had happened. And like right after it happened, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, this dude climbed El Capitan with no ropes." I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty crazy." But like, I was kind of the mindset like, it probably isn't that hard because I didn't know anything about rock climbing, and so I was like, it's probably not that hard of a climb, but it's just crazy because it's so tall and he did it with no ropes. But like after watching the documentary, I'm like, okay, not only is this like crazy because he did it with no ropes, but it's also a super like technically difficult climb. So the fact that I was listening to an interview with him and he said that there's only probably 40 people in the world that are technically skilled enough to be able to pull that off without ever like even if they were roped in, like to do it without falling. And he's like, but of those 40 people, like who has the balls to actually try it with no ropes? Like,
Oh my gosh.
that's why it's like never been done because like he like basically has a screw loose and like he is the only person that would in the world that would even
And I'm surprised he didn't get weighed down from the size of his balls.
for real, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's insane.
Jeez.
But that one's really good. And then there's one on Netflix called The Dawn Wall, which is also a climbing documentary about El Capitan. And that's Tommy Caldwell when he first climbed the Dawn Wall of El Capitan, and it's also pretty insane. And I'm not even that big
Big
in
into
rock
climbing
climbing,
documentaries,
but
huh?
dude, they're crazy. Like I did not know how insane like the rock climbing thing was, but yeah, it's pretty nuts. That's like I'm not big on like recommending shows and stuff for people to watch because I never take advice from anybody when they tell me what to watch. But Free Solo, I definitely highly
Yeah,
recommend.
it's been a while since I've
Put
watched
that on my
a good
list.
documentary.
Yeah,
I'm sure Disney Plus has some good ones. I heard they have a lot of good like behind the scenes
yeah. I've been
documentaries,
actually
like the
watching
making
a
of
lot
like Star Wars and stuff. I've been wanting to check that
I
out.
actually might watch that after this because we just bought a 4K like big 4K TV, which is
It's
awesome.
very nice.
Yeah, and so I've been watching a lot of those like nature documentaries on like Disney Plus and stuff because they have all the Nat Geo stuff, and yeah, it's pretty cool like watching all those, especially the like Our Planet documentary series on Netflix. Pretty insane. So yeah, maybe I'll watch
Yes, that's
that
crazy.
because I
Have you guys
remember
ever seen
Star Wars
Go on,
one.
Mason.
Go ahead.
Have you guys ever seen the Pixar story? I don't know if that's on
I
Disney
have
Plus,
seen the
but
Pixar story. It is on Disney Plus, and it's so
is
good.
it? Oh, I love the Pixar story.
Is that
It's
just
so
like behind
good.
the making of each, like the big Pixar movies?
It's
Yeah,
just like how it all came to be and like all the kind of the background stuff and like what goes on and like making the movies and like how the office life was like. It's really cool. I love it.
So the Pixar story was actually made in 2007, and it's the entire story of Pixar leading up to the release of Cars. So like that's the most recent thing that's happened when the documentary was made was they were making Cars, so the first one. So it's pretty like crazy to see like how it like basically came from nothing and like turned into whatever. But on top of that, there's also actually might take the cake over Free Solo for my favorite documentary. There's a documentary on Disney Plus called The Imagineering Story, which is from the creators of the Pixar story, and it's
What?
just all about it was just made like probably a year or two ago, and it's like a 6 or 7 part documentary series about Disney parks and like all of the like craziness that goes into like the
Oh,
construction
okay.
and design of like Disney parks. And I'm like a huge Disneyland fan, so like that one is insane. And it's from the same producers that made the Pixar story. It's from so Ub Iwerks is like one of the original Disney guys who worked like with Walt Disney when he was first getting started. And it's like his granddaughter made this documentary about like Disney Imagineering, and it's also on Disney Plus. And yeah, that one's super good too, especially if you're like into Disney. But that might actually be
That's
better than Free Solo. Forgot about
Was
that one.
Toy Story the
Interesting.
first Pixar movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Toy Story was the first feature-length animated movie. That
Oh,
Which is insane, like for how like good it is. Like yeah,
First-
like nowadays,
first-
like
feature-length computer animated movie. That's where
yeah. Well, because they went Toy Story and then fucking like A Bug's Life, and then they went Toy Story 2, like right after. Like it's very
did they make
close.
ants?
No,
No,
that
they did not make ants. Zach, did you not hear my fucking Pixar list? You don't remember those fucking episodes? Come on.
Of course,
they
I
made
had your list
They made A
memorized.
Bug's Life and Ants. Yes, Zach. They made both.
I thought they're like,
Oh my
well, Bugs
gosh.
Life was a huge success. Let's
Let's make another
Let's
Bug's
try
Life, but
this.
call it
yeah,
Ants.
it's pretty crazy. Like a lot of people don't know about Pixar is that they were like originally getting started in like animation for like commercials and stuff, and then they were getting used for like aerospace engineering and like crazy stuff like that. But they wanted to like get into like filmmaking, and they ended up getting a huge investment from Steve Jobs. And so Steve
Yeah.
Jobs was like the CEO, or I don't know if he was the CEO, but he was like the primary investor for Pixar. So he owned like most of Pixar. And then when Pixar got acquired by Disney, Steve Jobs was the single highest like investor in Disney at the time. He owned like 10% of all of Disney or something because he had such a huge share of Pixar that when it was like acquired that happened. So it's actually kind of crazy. And he's like in the documentary quite a bit because it was made in '07, so he was still alive at the time. And it's actually pretty interesting to see like how like he like kind of played off all of his Apple success and like used all that money to like get into Pixar.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Pixar is just like a crazy company. Like even like how like if you watch the documentary of Pixar Story, like it's kind of like how Google is, so where it's like, oh, it's so fun to work here, but for them, it's like they promote like creativity because like they want to use like the best of the best ideas to make their movies. Like they don't want to just like just throw out a bunch like fucking I don't know Illumination all that dumb shit. Well, I mean like Cars 2 is an exception, but like they want to like make like the best of the best, and so they just literally just have like all these like grown adults like with like cubicles, but they also have like scooters and shit like riding around offices and just like having fun and just like doing all this shit. Like oh my gosh, like that's like in my top 3 of dream jobs is fucking working at Pixar.
They're like, we need the best of the best. They're like, all right, Larry the Cable Guy, get in here.
Yeah, exactly. Owen Wilson, Larry the Cable Guy, you're gonna team up. You're gonna be the best, make the best trilogy of all time.
Good chow.
Have they announced the next movie
But
yet?
you just said how bad Cars 2 is. Cars
It's a joke,
so good
jeez.
that it makes the trilogy so good.
The Cars trilogy is better than the original Star Wars trilogy. Changed my mind.
Oh my god.
Did you not see the behind the scenes where Mater is actually Lightning McQueen's father? You didn't see that? Lightning,
Remember
I'm your
Doc?
father. Fucking Doc. Did you ever watch Cars 3, Mason?
No, I haven't even seen Cars 2.
Oh, well, good.
Well, you don't need to watch Cars 2 to watch
Yeah,
Cars
just
3.
skip it,
I
honestly.
heard that Cars 2 was shitty, so I didn't watch it, and then Cars 3 came
Cars
out.
3, I don't think has anything to do with Cars 2.
Yeah, well, Cars
It's
3
like a
came
whole
out, I was
separate
like, well, I
movie.
never saw Cars 2, so I might as well not watch Cars 3.
Cars 2 is just the most ex machina fucking movie in Pixar history. It has nothing to do with anything. They had the Cars characters, but in a fucking spy movie. That has nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with a third movie either. If it went Cars 1 to Cars 3, it would have been a fine sequel. But Cars 2 just fucked everything up. Cars 3 is not that bad of a movie.
Funny
Except
thing
that
is,
they mention Doc.
I've only seen Cars 2 once, and it was in Spanish
It's probably better than English, honestly.
for Spanish
pretty
class. So I heard Larry the Cable Guy in Espanol.
Since I also saw Cars 2, but I saw it in Romanian.
The fuck?
You know, maybe
Watch
Cars
that
2
your
isn't
free
bad.
time?
Maybe it's because we're not watching it in English.
No, I've seen it in English. Trust me, Zach.
I think I've seen all the Pixar movies except for I haven't seen Cars 2 or 3, and I haven't seen The Good Dinosaur, and I haven't seen Onward. But I've seen all the other ones.
Onward is
Wait,
good. You
were
should watch Onward.
Were you
I really
playing
like
the
that.
Cars
It's not
2
Disney
Xbox
Plus.
360 game one time?
Yeah, I was playing Cars 2 on Xbox One actually.
This is backwards compatible now.
Yeah, exactly. Cars 2 is bad. Cars 3 is okay.
Well, how was the game?
Onward is really good. I really liked Onward. The game's the exact same as the movie, but the game is better than the movie. I could play the game.
Is there any racing?
There is racing, I think. I don't remember.
Wouldn't that be funny if
Yeah,
it's
yeah, there was racing.
it's a game that takes place in a world that's only cars, but there's no
It's like
racing.
GTA, but the characters are cars. That's pretty much how it is.
They're hijacking each other. Like what? Is that
You have to be Lightning McQueen, and you'd be like, "Oh, hijack this car," and he uses his tire to open up the door, throws out a fucking guy, and then gets in the car as a car. Yeah, exactly. It's like Carception. Yeah.
He opens up the trunk and just crawls into the trunk and just becomes the other car.
Right in the asshole. Yeah, that's how they hijack.
It's like the Matrix when the agent takes over a guy.
All I can think
He
of
just
is
sticks his hand in his chest.
like Lightning McQueen is like crawling into somebody's trunk and the other car is like screaming and he's just like
Ka-chow.
kerchow.
Yeah.
I am speed.
It's like the Shrek is Low, Shrek is Life, but Lightning McQueen version.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you should watch
Anyway, so
Onward. I
You were
really
saying
like
Cars
Onward.
3 wasn't that bad.
Cars 3 is not that bad. Compare Cars 1. If you go to Cars 1 to Cars 3, it's a pretty good sequel. Cars 2 just has nothing to do with anything and shouldn't
Yeah,
be
Cars
watched.
3 is actually a sequel to Cars 1, and Cars 2 is just it's a spin-off.
Yeah, Cars 3 is really not that bad though. Like you watched it, Zach. Like it wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
we saw it in 3D in theaters,
we did. Oh my God, I hate fuck
and we were
3D
the only
movies.
ones in there.
Of course we were, which is fun because we could just make fun of it. But I don't know. Like Onward is really good though. I really liked Onward. You should watch
Yeah,
that.
that
Mason.
was really good.
Yeah, I'll put it on my list.
But
Put it on
have
your
they
list.
announced their next movie yet? What it's gonna be?
They were gonna make a couple actually. Oh, Soul was one of them.
Oh
Where
yeah.
the black guy
That's
falls into the sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What else are they gonna make? There was another one that
I heard they're making
seemed
Cars 2.5. It's a sequel to Cars 2.
Yeah, it's like Lion King 1.5, and where Lion King 1.5 they focus on fucking Timon's life. In Cars 1.5 they focus on Sally's life before she met Lightning. All the cars she fucked, yeah, fucking slut car. But gosh, I can't think of what else they were gonna make. I remember they were making Soul and then something else. I don't know, but yeah.
Oh man, it looked like
What?
yeah. I was thinking. I was like trying to find the release date. I couldn't tell if June 19th was supposed to be their release date or just the unveil date
For what?
for Soul.
Oh, probably unveil date. There hasn't been any
Juneteenth.
trailers or anything, I don't think, for Soul.
No, yeah.
Oh,
Oh
there's a
wait,
trailer?
for
What the
Soul
fuck,
there
dude?
was a
Oh, really?
trailer came out November 7th.
Wow, I'm out of the loop.
Yeah. Dude, what the fuck? Yeah, they showed it in fucking theaters. They showed plenty of it's like the same trailer over and over again, but like
Well, how would I know about that? I don't know anything about
okay,
movies.
well on YouTube also. Yeah, fucking November when you were working there or whatever.
I wasn't
No,
working.
you- I don't know your life. I don't care.
So I found this
It's
article
on
that
YouTube
said
though.
it said Pixar has secured a few other release dates for movies untitled, and they list 3 release dates, but who knows what those are now that COVID's here. So why does it even matter?
They released the release dates for movies that haven't been announced. What?
Yes. So they had release dates of June 18th, 21, March 18th, 22, and then June 17th, 2.
Interesting.
I'll be right back.
Oh, shit.
And then it also links to an article that says Disney's upcoming releases from 2019 to 2023.
Oh my god, it's like the fucking MCU but Pixar.
Wasn't there
Gosh.
another movie? I don't know. I think it was Disney, but it stars The Rock and it looks just like Jumanji, like it takes place in a forest or something like that. I couldn't remember what it's called.
There
Was that
was a
The Jungle Book 2 or something?
no, it was Journey to the Center of the Earth 2. It had
No, this
The
is like a
Rock.
new movie.
What? There was another.
Oh, Jungle
that was
Cruise.
that. What?
Yeah, let me hold on. Let me.
Oh
I saw
my
a trailer
gosh.
for it, and it started The Rock, and it looked just like Jumanji.
But even before Jumanji, they had a Journey to the Center of the Earth 2 with fucking The Rock and like
Yeah,
Josh
no,
Hutcherson and shit, which was also in the fucking jungle. Like,
Yeah, Jungle Cruise in theaters July 30th, 21. Stars Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt, Edgar Ramirez, all
how many
Giamatti.
movies does Dwayne the Rock Johnson have to do in a fucking jungle? Yeah, okay. I'm
I was
saying
actually
this.
just talking about that yesterday. I was with my dad and one of his friends.
I've got a little rock fatigue. Not gonna lie.
Well, his friend was saying he was talking about this movie and he's like, yeah, The Rock's in it, like he's in the jungle looking for a gem, and I'm like, oh, is it Jumanji? And he's like, no, it's actually not Jumanji. And I'm like, how many movies is there where The Rock is in a jungle looking for a gem? And then I'm like, wait, probably like 4.
Yeah, seriously. Like, oh my god, they've had fucking Jumanji 1 and 2. I never even saw the second one, but they had Jumanji. They had Journey to the Center of the
was
Earth
actually
2 with
worse than
him.
one. I
Well,
watched
yeah, I
Jumanji.
bet. And then
It's
now
The
this
Rock
fucking
trying to do a
Jungle Cruise.
Danny DeVito impression for like an hour and a half.
Ew. Like, well, that was funny about the first one is that fucking Jack Black was playing a girl, which was funny. But then the new one wasn't he playing like some old man?
Well, yeah, and then I guess spoiler, they end up going back to the Jumanji 1 characters again. So Jack Black starts playing.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
but that's like an hour and a half into like the 2-hour movie. So it's like
Oh, great.
yeah.
Jeez. Mm.
Yeah, it was almost like the whole movie was like one long bit that just lasted way too long.
Yikes. Fucking The Rock. You guys ever watch a Tooth Fairy?
No.
I
And
think
Tooth
that
Fairy
might be on
2
Disney
had
Plus
Larry the
now.
Cable Guy.
Yeah, I know it did. It's quite the kind of shows up this little circle we've been creating with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Larry the Cable Guy being in
And
the
then he's
connected
gonna
universe.
be he's a Marvel superhero now. He's gonna be Black Adam.
What?
Yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy?
No, The Rock.
Oh, but yeah, Tooth Fairy
I
was
feel-
weird. I don't know.
I just feel like with Disney Plus, if there wasn't Marvel fatigue now, there's definitely going to be in the next like year and a half. There's so many Marvel shows coming out soon.
Well, yeah. Now that Black Widow got pushed back, I'm so excited. My favorite superhero.
No,
had
not
her own
even
spin-off
movies,
movie.
just the Disney Plus TV shows.
Yeah, like fucking Loki and all that shit.
And didn't they
I'm not
announce
gonna
like
watch
10 or
that.
15 shows for Marvel?
Probably 100. Wait, do you say 115? The fuck?
Wait, no, I didn't say that.
I was like, what?
I think I said like 10 to 15.
Oh, they said 115. I was like, there's no way.
Bit of an exaggeration.
Jeez. Oh man.
In a completely
Yeah,
unrelated note, I just saw this thing ranking the top 50 sports by difficulty.
Oh yeah, wasn't golf like I think I know what you're talking about. Wasn't golf like 43 or something?
It's
I didn't see this.
51st. Golf should be number 1, and it's 51st. Number 1 is boxing.
What? Boxing's not difficult if you want to get your fucking head punched in.
I feel like it's difficult to be a good boxer, but like I feel like it's hard to say that boxing is more difficult than like mixed martial arts.
Yeah, that's dumb. I had this
I feel like MMA would be
conversation
harder.
with
What the fuck do I know? I've never been in a fight.
well, remember in middle school when our friend Chance Zach, we had a big debate about what the most physically challenging
Yeah, and he
sports
said it
were.
was no, he said he was like motorbiking.
Motocross, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck are you talking
I think
about?
we
That's
debated
not...
this for like a week, like
And
every
he
day.
was,
And we're like,
yeah, I was so pissed. He was like, yeah, that's the most physically challenging sport, riding a fucking motorized bike. It's like, that was fucking not. Like, fucking running a triathlon's probably more
I think I
physically
said I
demanding
was
than
like
that
even an
shit.
Ironman competition. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like an Ironman competition where you're swimming for 2.5 miles, riding a bike for like 112
real
miles, and
bike.
then running for like a half marathon.
Yeah, that's so fucking stupid. What was
That's more
the...
physically challenging than like 10 laps on a motorbike.
Read like the top 10 if you have it, Mason. I want to hear this
So
bullshit list.
okay, so number 1 is boxing. You're gonna like this one. Number 2 is ice hockey.
I disagree, but I love hockey.
Okay, number 3 is football. Number 4 is basketball. Number 5 is
What?
wrestling.
Wrestling should be higher than fucking basketball.
5 is wrestling. 6 is martial arts. 7 is tennis. 8 is gymnastics. 9 is baseball. 10 is soccer.
They could have literally listed just 50 sports and put them in any order, and like it would have been like, yeah, this makes
Yeah,
sense.
no one would ever
It's
agree
like,
on this list.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, I played tennis. It's not the fucking 8th hardest sport in the fucking world.
Yeah, it's easy. We
Like-
just have to interview a guy that's played every single one of those sports professionally. See what he says.
Exactly. But he can't ice skate, so hockey's definitely the hardest for him. I mean, obviously, like when it goes into like starting a sport, like hockey's got to be one of the hardest because like you have to learn how to fucking skate before you can play the game. But I mean, like as far as like once you can skate, it's not that hard to just, I don't know. But is it like what's this list like hardest like in
posted this?
general as like a
It
a
just says
sport?
sports ranked by difficulty.
Yeah, but who posted it? Some guy on Twitter.
Flowtrack on Twitter,
Donald Trump.
which is a
posted
verified Twitter thing.
Well, the cities are burning. He's debating physical ability in each sport.
this. While he's hiding in his White House bunker, turning his lights off. Oh gosh. But why is boxing number 1? Out of all the things, like UFC is harder than
It would be
fucking
nice if
boxing.
they at least listed some reasons instead of just a numbered list.
Yeah. Number 1, boxing. Number 2, hockey. Who cares? Number 3, fucking football or something.
Yeah, I would argue that golf is like one of the hardest, if not the hardest sport.
Golf's extremely like, yeah, it's not physically challenging, but as far as like being
pure
good at it, it
difficulty.
takes so much time to like be like a
Yeah.
good fucking golfer. Like
Where's
compared to
bowling
other
on that
sports.
list?
Bowling is number
Yeah.
57.
57.
What about foosball?
I don't think that's on here.
Poker?
Ping pong? Poker.
Esports
I don't
is
see
League of
Yeah.
Legends on there?
table tennis on here.
Rocket League
Like,
competitive is pretty
What
hard.
about badminton?
Table tennis,
as well as-
47, harder than golf.
You got that right.
I've seen Balls of Fury.
Gosh, I love that movie. I need to rewatch that.
Stupid.
You know they made a Wii game.
Number 15 is
that
rodeo steer wrestling.
That's the easiest. I can do that in my sleep. What the fuck does it mean? Dumb. What about badminton? Is that on there?
Badminton is number
Or
30.
rugby? 30.
Rugby is
I feel like rugby would be pretty.
13, right behind water polo, and one higher than lacrosse.
What about
Right
water
behind
volleyball?
right behind water polo, and right behind yoga. Is
Yeah.
cheerleading on there?
Gymnastics is. That's kind of similar. It's
That
number
doesn't
8.
count.
That's
That's
tough.
similar.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's
I
tough.
don't see. Oh, cheerleading, 52. One behind golf and one ahead of roller skating.
Roller skating or roller blading? There's a difference.
Rollerblading, number 12.
Is that inline?
What?
I'm kidding.
Rollerblading
I'm
is
kidding.
40 spots harder than. Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, what the fuck?
Where's baseball at?
Baseball's 9, right behind gymnastics and right above soccer. I feel like baseball should also be one of the hardest.
Yeah, I just want to
Yeah.
know who made this list and just like, can you at least list one reason? Just one reason why it's in the spot that it's in. I feel like they just threw it in a random list generator and were like,
I
sure.
honestly think gymnastics should be way higher too.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's like I feel like compared to like soccer, I feel like that's what should be one of the fucking easiest. Like, yeah, it takes skill to fucking score a goal, but like if you want to be a fucking defender, all you have to do is just run and kick a ball downfield. Like you don't have to like. I feel like that's not hard compared to like something like fucking baseball where you have to hit a 90-mile, like fucking 100-mile-per-hour fastball coming right at you, like, or golf where you have to fucking hit a tiny ass ball in the hole in 4 shots. Like,
Yeah, baseball where you have to make a decision in like 0.2 seconds whether to swing at a ball that you don't even know is curving yet outside of
Yeah.
the strike zone.
like as far as like startup sports, like every kid fucking plays soccer because it's the easiest shit to learn. It's like, oh, run around and kick this ball. Like it's not hard. Like yeah, it's hard to be like an amazing soccer player, but I mean that's how you could say about for like any sport. So
Yeah.
I don't understand that list. Fuck that list. That's fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Anyway, I was looking at more Marvel shows that are coming, and they have to be announced dates on Moon Knight, She-Hulk. So I'm ready for those.
Wait, what?
They're making a Moon Knight show and a She-Hulk show on Disney Plus, and
She-Hulk.
a Miss Marvel show.
I've read a lot of fanfic about She-Hulk. I'm excited to see it come to live action.
I've heard this What If show could be good. It's like a show like what if this happened in the movies,
Oh, that'd be
and then
cool.
it's like an alternate universe kind of show. I feel like that'd be kind of.
Did you guys hear that? So, I don't know if this is actually true, but so you know the dude from Ant-Man, the like
Paul
Rudd?
no, his like friend that like talks really fast.
The Mexican guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the
he
guy from Chips.
yeah. So apparently, I don't know if this is actually true, but apparently Kevin Feige has said that there is a video that exists of that guy recapping.
Feige?
Isn't that his name?
Isn't it Feige?
Is that it? I don't know. I don't pay enough attention. But
Fucking white guy, come on.
yeah, so apparently there's a video of that guy recapping the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh my gosh.
Like in his like, because you know how he always does that in the movies. He like talks about like what's going on, and it just makes no sense.
Really, it's like
about
it's like
every Ant-Man movie.
80% of it is him recapping the Ant-Man series, and then he's like, "Oh yeah," and then Endgame happened,
And then Thanos killed half the world, and then they killed Thanos, and then they went back in time,
and then
Thanos
Ant-Man
came
time
back.
traveled, and then he
And then Ant-Man went up his asshole, and then he got big, and he destroyed Thanos.
I still wish that had happened. That would have been amazing.
I think that's what got me kicked off of IMDb. Is I made a fucking thing for Infinity War. I made an alternate ending submission that fucking Ant-Man went in his asshole and got big, and I made it like super like college essay where it's like big words and shit, like to make it like really, I don't know, eccentric. And I think that's what that's when they caught on to my
It wasn't
ways.
your picture. It was
I like how
your
that's what you do.
Yeah.
Hey,
What if they do that on the
I'm
What If
writing
shows?
I'm writing an Avengers Infinity War alternate ending, where Ant-Man
Submission
finds
for
Thanos
IMDb.
an asshole and expands and blows him up.
No, that would be a great What If episode.
Oh, how long have you been working on that? 3.5 hours.
I got my shift covered today just so I could focus on this.
Kevin Feige, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I went on like a fucking tear, like going for like every single IMDb movie I could like apply for. Like once I got my resume built up, I'd be like, oh, I can be on like What Happens in Vegas and all this shit as like a uncredited cast
It's in
member.
Vegas.
Yeah, I think I did get on that, but there was so much shit. But then once I tried to fuck with Infinity War, a movie that people actually care about, they were like, okay, this kid's gone on too far. And he's like, we're gonna destroy his fucking account.
What was the character he tried to be? It was like Warrior number 85.
No, it was like Thanos Warrior number 1725, like some crazy fucking number, because he had so many henchmen and shit. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. But yeah, it was. I digress.
Should have done Iron Man uncredited.
Yeah, I was Iron Man. Do you not see me in a hospital again? I look just like Robert Downey Jr.
Did you not see me in blackface? I look just like Robert Downey Jr.
Jeez, like fucking Tropic Thunder. Oh man.
I like how people are like just now like realizing that he did that, and everybody's like freaking out. I'm like,
Like, wait, that
know
was
the
him.
Tropic Thunder existed.
There's,
Hey, well, he
there's
played it so. That's almost like a compliment. It's like he played it so well, I didn't even know it was him.
he's such a good black guy. There's some like I hate when people bring up like shit that happened like a really long time ago and like oh my gosh, I can't believe they
did you guys
that.
hear about the Jimmy Fallon blackface thing on SNL that he did? And then
Oh,
yeah, no, on SNL there's a sketch where he was like pretending to be Chris Rock, who was also a cast member, and he was like it was like a sketch, and then he like had blackface on, and then people were like calling him out for it like 20 years after he did it.
Fuck you, Jimmy Fallon.
No, and then he did an apology and he said, "Thank you for holding me accountable." I'm like, oh my god, it's like the most PR apology.
Jimmy
ever.
Fallon is the biggest simp of all time. I fucking swear, dude. This is true.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the blackface. I'm mad at you being a simp.
Fucking simp.
No, he is pretty annoying though.
Yeah,
I can't watch his sketches where he just like breaks down after like the first sentence. I'm like, how did you land this gig?
like it's funny at first, but every fucking skit, like you're laughing. It's like, come on, man! Like you're supposed to be a comedian.
Yeah, it makes the sketch really funny if it's an actor that doesn't break that often and then finally does during a sketch. That's when it makes it good. Not when some guy just can't even get one sentence out without just bursting.
It's like you should be sitting in the audience. Why are you on stage, stupid fuck?
I thought it was really weird when he got the Tonight Show. I was like, really? Just out of everybody, Jimmy Fallon?
Was he right after Jay Leno?
Yeah, he took over for Jay Leno.
I miss Jay Leno so much. Oh man.
Do you really? Did you watch Jay Leno a lot?
I like Jay Leno. Yeah, I watched him a little bit back in the fucking 5th grade. Yeah, that was a great time.
The only show that I watched at least a little bit, like I don't even watch like late night that much, but I like Conan quite a bit.
See, I never watched Conan for some
Did
reason.
you ever watch like his Clueless Gamer videos from like a few years back?
With like Marshawn Lynch and shit.
Well, it was before he started doing because once they started doing them with celebrities, they weren't as good. But when it was like him and his producer playing, it was actually really funny. It was like some of my favorite videos of all time on YouTube.
Jeez. I don't know. I was never a big Conan fan, but like fucking late night shows are just weird when you think about it. It's like, oh, let's all watch these celebrities
It's just so
talk
forced.
to each other.
It's so
just,
forced. I hate it. Like
yeah.
their monologues that they do like before the show like really starts.
Have you guys ever seen the game show called like it's like the fucking interview game show to where basically like a celebrity comes on and like they judge them how they do on their like it's like a mock late night interview and they
What is
give
this
them,
on?
I think it's on like GSN. I don't know. I fucking forget what it's called, but basically like they have like an interview with some guy. It's basically like they're on a late show and it's just like they have 3 judges and like there's this one guy who like says out every time he gives out points. And so like once like say the person that comes on is like Steve Carell or whatever. He comes on as like the guest, and then he's like, "How's everyone doing tonight?" He's like, "Yeah, like so, like what have you been doing lately?" And he's like, "Oh man, I've been reading like fan letters," and like some guys like interacts with fans 5 points, and it's just like dumb shit like that, to where it's just like,
Oh man, that sounds terrible.
if you're
It sounds
if you're
like the
like
worst part of a show just made it into the show.
exactly, it's like if it's basically like it's so stupid. It's like how they grade you. They give you points on how good you are as like a guest on a late night show, like how good you answer questions, how you like interact with the audience, how you bring out like stuff that's going on in your life. It's so stupid. Oh my god, I used to watch it when I worked out a couple years ago, and it was just so fucking dumb. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
I saw that they just came out with a show that's like called Celebrity Watch Party, where it's like,
Oh, I saw
now that
that.
everyone's in quarantine, we're watching the shows with you, and then here's our reactions to the
Yeah, what the
big
fuck?
scoops.
Like me and Kira were talking about this. Like how much? Like imagine making money being on Celebrity Watch Party of like you're a celebrity
wonder
and
how much
all
they
you
get
have to
paid.
do, you literally just have to react to a fucking show and you just have to be super over like flamboyant and shit watching a show. Like none of them are fucking like that. When I'm watching a new show, I'm like, oh wow, do you see that? Oh, like oh okay. Like I'm not doing anything. I'm just fucking watching it. Not like
That was funny.
yeah, not like gasping at like every little fucking thing that happens. Oh my gosh. Like I don't like the people who watch that mostly piss me off. Like I know the celebrities are just getting their bread, but like the people that watch that are just like, I'm watching with my favorite celebrities. Oh my gosh, I can't believe she laughed at what I laughed at. We're so close. It's like they're fucking. Who cares? I hate celebrities.
The thing about watching shows, it's like there's never really a moment in a show where that I can at least see happening. Where it's like it totally caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Like there's no possibility I could have ever foreseen this happening.
I just gasped.
There's only so
Gasped
surprised I
hard.
could be. I
just spit
gasped.
out my water.
I did a spit take in my bedroom alone, and now my computer's ruined. I can't watch Celebrity Watch Party anymore.
I just don't get like the obsession with celebrities, like all the keeping up with the Kardashians and all that shit. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, who the fuck cares about what they're doing in their life? Like, I know that like people want to be like, oh, I wish I had that life, or like I want to see like how they live their life, because like one day maybe I'll be like that. But it's like, there's better things to do.
What are you, 5?
Me? What the fuck do you mean? I don't know what's happening. But yeah, it's just like it's just like a weird thing to where it's just like because especially with like keeping up with the Kardashians, it's always like moms and shit that watch it or whatever. Or it's just like oh they're such good parents. Oh my gosh, look at their little babies. That's
Especially
so
this dance
funny.
mom.
Oh my, I love Dance Moms is the best. Don't compare that to keeping up with the Kardashians. Dance Moms is amazing. Oh my gosh, I love seeing verbal abuse to young girls just trying to dance.
I heard you could pay for a cameo from the lady in that.
Oh really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's like I was wondering if you could make her just like yell at you and just be abusive to you, or to a friend for their birthday, and pay $100 for that.
Cameo is such a weird thing. Can you imagine being like
It is very,
a washed up celebrity doing fucking cameo? Like I feel so bad.
especially these like obscure ones. It's like he was a side character on this one movie from 1992, and he's charging $100 for a happy birthday.
Dude, I saw
I
that
wonder if
Gilbert
Coconut Head
God-
is a cameo.
I saw that Gilbert Gottfried makes just like a shitload of money. Like not necessarily on Cameo, but basically just doing like stuff like that. Where he just like does like voiceover work and like somebody just like asks him to do something and he just like records his voice and just makes like tons of money. Like thousands of dollars a day doing shit like
I
that.
feel like if I wasn't making that kind of money, just doing that would like suck the soul out of me.
Gilbert Gottfried also has the most like ridiculous voice of any human on earth. Like
Isn't
obviously
that,
it
isn't
makes
that
money
like a
off
voice
it.
that he does? Like that's not his actual voice.
What?
Yeah,
Really? I didn't know that.
yeah. He doesn't actually sound like that.
Poor guy. He sounds like fucking Morgan Freeman in his free time.
He's like, my whole life is a lie.
Ever since I voiced that fucking bird from Aladdin, I've been doing all this shit.
Oh man, you're going for a while. We've been going like almost 2 hours.
Oh god.
I know, jeez. I have a fucking Madden game to play. The ESPYs are going on. Do you guys see that? I just got a Bleacher Report thing. It said that the ESPYs open with Black Lives Matter message.
Nice. All the hosts are from Seattle, which is kind of funny.
Wait, what's Black Lives Matter?
Did you see the hosts of the ESPYs are Megan Rapinoe, Sue Bird, and Russell Wilson, who are all from Seattle? It's kind of funny.
Russell Wilson's not
I didn't
from
know she was.
Seattle.
I didn't.
Sorry,
I didn't
they
know.
play for the professional sports teams in Seattle.
Yeah, that's right.
Rapinoe does. I did not know that.
Yeah, she plays for the Seattle Reign.
Seattle Rain and then Seattle Storm.
I'm surprised the Seahawks aren't called the Clouds.
That's very
Seattle
intimidating.
Clouds.
Reign like REIGN.
But then, ironically, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That is ironic.
Yeah. I remember back in high school we had to make our own like sports team in a city that like didn't have a team, and that's back when LA didn't have one.
You did LA Gays.
Yeah, it had to be like something that had to do with the city, and I saw that LA had like the first gay pride parade, so I wanted to be the LA Gays. But my teacher didn't let me do it.
Jesus.
I like how like serious you were about it. Like you weren't even laughing. You're like, no, I think this is a really good name.
I wanted him to approve of it. I was like, this has like historical evidence in this. And he's like, would this be like an intimidating name though to play against? I'd be like, if I'm suiting up in the locker room about to go out and play against the LA Gays, I'd be shitting my pants. Like they're gonna fuck me up. They're not only gonna beat me on the field, they're gonna fucking destroy my fucking outfit afterwards.
They're gonna poke fun at my uniforms.
Exactly.
God, I don't remember it because I remember I had to do one too because we were in the same class, and I really just can't remember what I did. But I remember mine got rejected pretty hard.
I think
I don't even remember what city I had.
after my LA Gays got shut down, I eventually did like the LA Inferno or some shit.
Oh yeah. God, I don't. Yeah, I do not remember what I had.
We should make this fucking 2-part. This is a long ass fucking episode. We should make this 6 hours so Mason can just listen to it for his entire workday.
Oh my god. Nope.
Mason's just spending his whole time away from work, just trying to get content to kill while he's at work. It's a life of pain and misery. And then after an episode ends, he just cries. I'm out of content. Yeah. I forgot to say. I forgot to open that all the episodes are now on YouTube. Now I got them back on there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And
So if
my
you wanna...
computer like literally died uploading episodes. So I had to get a new computer. And seriously, upload an episode and then just never turn on again.
It's last hurrah. I did everything for this podcast. That's the computer we started.
Because last year I was uploading, like spending an hour and a half uploading a video that won't get any views.
Instead of listening to it on Spotify where you can turn your phone off, you have to keep your phone on while you watch a fucking thumbnail screen on YouTube.
If you have Google Play or YouTube Premium, you can put your screen off.
All right, well, I'm sure people have Spotify.
So hey, YouTube Premium members, hit that up.
Yeah.
We know you're out there. We know
merch.
you're listening.
Oh, man, I'm like fucking 3 drinks in. I started drinking at the start of this, and I've just been drinking ever since. I'm like fucking wasted by now. Holy shit. Drinking, going for so long.
Holding it together pretty well. I had no idea.
Looks like you're gonna
thank you.
just fall apart in your Madden game.
Nah, I'm fine. I like how once this episode is over, we're just gonna like continue talking at a fucking Xbox party while I play my fucking Madden game.
That's what you think.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway, thanks for
talking,
listening.
or should we end this? Yeah. I don't really got much else. I mean,
Yeah, we've exhausted my topics that I actually
hour
got to.
longer than I thought this was gonna be.
Mason's like, fuck, I missed my date.
Good one.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Sorry
thanks
guys,
for
I've got a Disney documentary to watch.
listening.
Real.
Yeah, for all listeners out there, make sure you watch Free Solo, the Pixar story, and everything in between. So,
Imaginary story.
yeah.
Watch Free Solo and then watch
Cars
Solo, a
3.
Star Wars story after.
It's all
Gravity
me.
Falls, Dark, everything. Watch them all before the next episode.
Good luck.
You'll have time.
You got-
Trust me.
You
You'll
got
have
6
time.
months to do it. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening to the special 26th episode of the Deep Thoughts podcast. It's been a good one. I hope
Wait, did Mason ever say why it's his favorite number?
Oh, that was just my number when I played soccer growing up.
the ninth hardest
There you
sport
have
in
it,
the world.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's the one.
there you have it. So yeah, thank you for listening. We have merch. If you go to our Instagram page at dtpodcast11 on Instagram.com, if you want to use the web browser, and then go to our the link in our bio, you can buy merch. If you buy the premium hoodie, that's what me and Zach have, and it is very comfortable. So Mason
Dare
can
to say
attest
I
to
wear
that,
mine
right,
every
Mason?
night.
What?
My hoodie is very
That's right,
comfortable.
folks. You
the one I
heard, you
bought.
heard it here from
Yep,
Mason.
pretty soft.
Damn right, it's really soft. So anyways, thank you for listening. So let's all fake high five. Let's all clap at the same time to end this podcast. All right, everybody ready? Deep Thoughts Podcast.